Guys, just relax. Relax a little bit. This is not over yet. But I'm very pleased that you see that it's not over yet, right? It's not over yet. Please don't get too confident about it. This is politics, right? Don't say mindset gave you hope. I'm not here to give anybody hope. Anything can happen. But what I know is what I can tell you. I probably might not tell you everything, but I'm not going to lie to you to give you false hope. All right. So, Master Chief, you raised your hand. Please go ahead.
All right. So I found a tweet you made 2 days ago. So can I read the tweet or?
Please put it on the button and read it out as well, please. Thank you.
Okay, I will do that. Rep. Riley Moore 2 days ago tweeted, I want to thank the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu for a productive and positive conversation with the U.S. congressional delegation to Nigeria. There were concrete steps and actions discussed at length that, if fully executed, I believe will enhance security across the country for all Nigerians.
Sorry, hold your thought for a minute. I apologize. Can you repeat that again?
All right. There were concrete steps and actions discussed at length that, if fully executed.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hold your thought for a minute. Now, this is where I wanted a lot of people to focus more on, and I tried to explain to those who were panicking. I said, "What do you understand by if fully executed?" There has not been any. Let's say I gave you. I say, do this thing if you're able to do this thing, right? And these are the things I was trying to explain to a lot of people. I said, calm down, guys. If you go through this tweet, you understand that there's no deal here. But the thing you must give to APC, and I always say this thing, right? APC can turn water into wine when it comes to propaganda. They are very good at it. The way they amplified it, the way they made you guys feel that you've lost everything, there is nothing here. They still have, people have, America have sold out. I am not saying they will not sell out tomorrow, please, but I'm just saying based on the little I know. And I was trying to tell those who care to listen, calm down a little bit, guys. Relax. The persons involved in this thing, they're not the individuals you can just, you think you can just push away. There are a lot of people that wanted to meet up with them, and one bishop, some of you are familiar with that particular bishop. He tried to meet up with them, they refused. A particular bishop want to be, meet up. They said, no, we're not going to meet with you. Some person want to meet with this guy. They said no. They were here since Thursday last week, and then the rest joined. I think the rest joined on Friday, but they were here since Thursday. They've been to some places, they've met some people, they've asked conversations. Some things I'm not able to say on Twitter spaces. So when that tweet went out, the APC amplified, the people were happy about it, that these guys have reached an agreement. I said, calm down, guys. Just wait what would happen in the next coming days. All right, so see, those that promised we made a deal this in the morning and we are going to have this spaces, they are not here. So let nobody feel bad if for any reason, right? We made a deal and they said they'll be here. We all agreed 10 o'clock. Nobody's here. It's only Mr. Sam and Master Chief. So I'm just going to continue the conversation with them. And hopefully in the next couple of minutes or so, if these other persons who promised to be here are here, to be part of the conversation. If not, we'll continue, right? So Master Chief, now going by the tweet that you read, are you confident that the United States would continue with what they started, or do you still have any doubt?
Easy mindset. To be honest with you, right? When they say things like 24 hours is a long time in politics, as at 2022, that word used to irritate me so much. But right now, getting older in life and getting older in political discourse, I really do understand that. I'm not really confident. All I just want um, to happen is They should just stop the killing, secure Nigerian lives and property, just secure us. That's all. Because I'm not very confident. When you look at these people involved and you look at their antecedents, it doesn't give me that much confidence. But let's see, let's see. Honestly, let's just see. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. You have every reason not to be confident. This is politics, and knowing who Donald Trump is a politician that can reach out, deal with everybody at any time. And if you know Bola Tinubu very well, you know that he can go at any length to reach out deals. So yes, you have every reason not to be confident. But the only thing I can tell you, I don't want to give you false hope as always. It's not as easy as it looks. I'm not sure if they probably will get all the four demands, but this is not over yet. It might turn into something else, which I'm not, I probably don't need to tell you what it is, but it's not over yet. Like I said to those people who just listened a few days ago, that it's not over yet. The evangelicals who are pushing this thing is not as easy as it looks, right? Um, America, America needs to do, America can help where America needs to help, but it's far from over. Now, the sorry, Sam, you raised your hand. What is it that
Yeah, my side. I wanted to add, like the question you asked now. In politics, everything is possible, but I didn't see, I didn't see them dropping this matter because it involves human life, displacing of people from their home. So I don't see any deal that a human being can take and watch people continuous killing every day. I didn't see that happen. I didn't see them dropping this deal. Thank you.
all right, thank you very much, Big Sam. Actually, Mr. Budget, who was here with us this morning, who was part of the individual who agreed that he would be here, he's on the comment section said, and he said that he's been requesting for the mic, sir. So I've made you a co-host, if you're able to bring him up. And Master Chief, I was going to make you a co-host, but I realized you blocked a lot of people, right? Uh-huh. You blocked a lot of people, so if I make you a co-host right now, you're going to keep each and every one of them out of this space. So, but I listened to what Frank said. Never say never. Never say never. The only thing I can tell you here is it's not over. It's not over yet. Quite a number of things are still being done. Uh, the AGF the other 3 days ago met with these guys, and the Nigerian government still insists there is nothing like Christian genocide. That is where the Nigerian government is saying. The Nigerian government is saying there's nothing like Christian genocide. A few days ago, these guys going to the States has actually given them what they're looking for. Now it's not a hearsay anymore. If you go back to that tweet, he said he met people, who lost their lives and everything. Well, the argument from the other side is, so why didn't he speak the others? Who do you want him to meet? So we'll continue the conversation as we have those who would like to join. Okay, Mr. Budget, good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Good evening, Vincent. Good evening, everyone. Let me start by saying the US had one intention, sending these people down here. And that intention is to buttress their initial plan, an intention of pushing this concocted Christian genocide issue in Nigeria. And if you think that they love Christians so much that they are coming with the intention of going only to Benue to talk to a few people to buttress their plan that, oh, there is a Christian genocide, you are joking. Because if you look at it, how many northern states are being affected with insecurity? If they were really interested in doing fact fighting, they should have gone to all those states and talk to the people that have been affected. If they want to decide or know the truth that there is no Christian genocide, they should also talk to the Muslims that are also being affected. But because they have a plan for this country and they are using some gullible Nigerians that do not even know their front from their back to use them to sabotage and get what they want. Because at the end of the day, US is looking out for their own interests, not the interests of Nigeria or Nigerians. Because here is it, just yesterday, a ring human trafficking cars, organ, harvesting parts was found in the southeast. And Christians are being killed in the south in their numbers, but nobody is talking of that. They are only interested in finding what they want to find, because they're not looking for the truth. They are looking to gain the so-called, concocted issue they have created for the country. At the end of the day, if we are serious as a people, we must ask the right questions, because we all know the insecurity that is going on in this country has nothing to do with a single tribe, religion, or religion. It's rather done by terrorists, and those terrorists must be dealt with amicably. But if you keep playing this politics of division, or just because you don't like the government, of course, I was here in the morning. I flogged the government when they do wrong. I don't wait for anybody to flog them. But in the issue that we have, it is a general insecurity problem. And the government has failed in securing our people. That is the bitter truth, whether you like it or you don't like it. Or if we don't unite as a people to demand and, push and force the government to do the needful. Here are they going to another country to use their military might to keep power for another country. Unfortunately, in our own country, we are seeing what is happening. They have not used that same energy, that same strength and military might to curb insecurity. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But since the space is just starting, I just want to start with it. Thank you, Mr. Mindset.
Thank you very much, Budget, for your submission, and thank you for being here. As we all agree that we are going to have this space tonight. So now, let me go back, because what you said is one of the arguments that I've seen from a lot of people, that why is it that they have not visited the North or the Muslim? Now, please, I want to be very honest to us, right? As always, we have visitors who always join us, and I've been told that we have two of them on the platform already. So we would like to hear from you as well. Now, do you have the numbers of Muslims or that were killed by Christians? You have the numbers, the figures of those persons. And was there at any point that any Muslim group or contacted anybody and say, this is what is going on? Do you have any documents to say what the bishop from Benue State has done? We have an imam who have reached out. Do you have anything of such?
Is that for me, man?
Yes, sir, that's for you, sir.
Yes, the numbers, we all know the country we live in. Nobody keeps accurate statistics. But if you are going to go with the happenings, and especially those of us that are familiar with the insecurity that is going on and how people have been killed over the years, both Muslims, Christians, traditional worshippers, and even the atheists in this country, because when we speak, a lot of people think it is just Nigeria just has Muslims and Christians. Nigeria has different, religions that practice their religions here. Because I've never seen a place where you go, especially within the territorial integrity of Nigeria, that Christians have been, persecuted to say don't Christianity. Of course, that's not to say that there are no terrorist elements that are targeting some people based on their religion. But it does not paint the whole picture. If you say there's a Christian genocide, what are you now trying to say? Who is that person? You should be specific. Who are the people that are killing Christians? Because the way you make it look, you just put a vague, statement out there as a Christian genocide in Nigeria. It does a lot of damage than good. At the end of the day, if you look at it, majority of people that have been these victims, I don't even like going numbers, because now questions humanity, that we are bothered about a particular religion being killed, not people are being killed. So, but many Nigerians that are being killed, if you look at the numbers, especially in the north, are Muslims. Mosques have been bombed. But in Islam, we don't name mosques to say, oh, if you notice, even the way media reports issues of killings of Muslims, they will never tell you, oh, this particular mosque in this certain area was bombed. They'll just tell you a mosque was bombed or was killed, worshippers were killed in the mosque. No specification. Unlike churches that have, addresses and all that. In northern Nigeria, if you are into northern Nigeria, you are going to see almost mosques and churches, across streets and all that. And the mosques are not being numbered. They are not being documented. So all these issues have been happening. And if you look at it, the North have been speaking. It is not that it is something new. Why did we, as a people, vote out PDP in 2015? Who was the most region in front of voting out PDP because of insecurity? Was it not the North? Just recently, 2024 August protests, who were at the forefront of that protest because of the killings in the North? Was it not the Northerners? And people still died for that protest. Is that not a means of talking? What is, number one constitutional way of showing the government that what is happening, we are not happy with it? Is our right to protest. And we have seen how this present government suppresses the voices of the people. So it is unfortunate that this is the situation that we have found ourselves. It is now a competition and argument of whether it is a tribe or a religion or a region that is being killed more, rather than knowing that Nigerians are being killed, which is an undeniable fact, and focusing on how we can pressurize this government to get Nigerians secure, to get the country secure, so that we can all go and do our businesses in peace. Very, very unfortunate. Well, I'll stop here for further engagement.
Right. Thank you very much. Now, please, because of time, because we do have others that have joined out, I just wanted you to be very brief. But if there's a need for you to elaborate more, please do so. Now, have you seen the report, the silent slaughter? Budget, have you seen that report, the silent slaughter?
No, I have not seen it.
Okay, I will try and see if I can send it to you because it's very important. You made it look like people are just making these things. People are not being. You don't want to count the numbers. We shouldn't count the numbers. And in your own words, we don't know. Churches, mosques don't have numbers, and then churches have numbers. Some individuals decided that the government of Nigeria has not been helpful. Now they started to document the killings in their community. Right? They put it together. They've been shouting, they're saying we're being killed, or people are being kicked out of their homes, and some individuals are taking over. Okay. Now, in your course of submission, you said that they didn't mention anybody, say like who. Please let it not be that mindset. I'm just gonna be very, very clear with this. Can somebody put out the last tweet from the Senator Riley Moore? That was the last tweet he made today. Not the one he please. Oh, but if you can find it, can you put it on the Jumbotron? Is it there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So, okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. Mr. Yusuf has actually put the silent slaughter on the Jumbotron. So, budget is if you're able to, not tonight, when you have, I would like you to go through that document. It's very important. Then that will give you an idea how we got to where we are. I'm looking forward to see if anybody can help me to put the tweet by Riley Moore, the one today. If we can put on Jumbotron, there's something I want Mr. Budget to see. Let it not be the mindset said. Are we able to do so? All right. Let me see if I can find it.
It is there already.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Budget, can you see the tweet? I can read it out if you want me to, or you want someone else to read it, I said have added something to it.
You can read it. I'm sure we are all.
All right. This is from Riley Moore. Quote: while in Benue, I met with dozens of Christians who were driven from their homes and subjected to horrific violence and now live in IDP camps. They told harrowing stories that will remain with me for the rest of my life. One woman was forced to watch as they killed her husband and 5 children. She and her unborn child barely escaped. Another woman's family was murdered in front of her. In front of her, and her baby was ripped from her womb. One man's family dead in front of his eyes, and his arms were permanently mangled. There are more than 600,000 Christians in IDP camp in Benue State alone. These Christians should be able to live in their ancestral homeland without the fear of genocidal Fulani. Was there a name? You hear the word Fulani here, right? So it's not that being killed by who. You want me to repeat myself, or are you clear with that now? So when you say they're not saying anything, they've mentioned a name, they mentioned a tribe. Mr. Budget. So let's not say they're not saying anything. You had it, right? It's up there. That's my word. So they mentioned that it's the Fulanis that have gone to Benue State and killed these people and kicked them out of their homes and taken over their lands. And these guys are in IDP. So there is a name to it. Are you still satisfied?
Shall I say what? Should I respond?
If you want to, but we have others who would like to. You want to hear from others as well.
If you look at it, myself, the closest data you can use for the killings that is happening in Nigeria is the Nigerian security tracker. And if you go there and look at the statistics over decades of the ones that they have been able to keep, that even BBC has, supported, that is more credible than any other data you can find out there. You will see that from within 2011 to 2020, we had 72 places of worship for Muslims being attacked and 83 for Christians being attacked. In those attacks, we had 2,017 Muslims being killed and 1,521 Christians being killed within that period of 9 years. And if you further look at other places for suicide attacks, you see that Muslims have been victims with 15.5% of the country, issue. And if you look at it from the Christians, 5% of. So at the end of the day, as I said, I'm not going to play this politics of division with our problem. Our problem is we have insecurity and our people are being killed. And that is why even when we attack the government and tell them to do the needful, we came out with a security structure for this government that will guarantee the security of the country. We didn't look at, is it just the Christians or the Muslims or the traditional worshippers are being killed? But at the end of the day, everybody is a victim. All Nigerians, the citizens, are a victim of bad governance and the insecurity we are going through. But thank you. I'll stop here for me.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry, guys, it's not only myself and Budget. I hope that's okay. So you mentioned the statistics from the Nigerian Bureau. I can't remember the last name, the last thing you said about them. But
Nigeria Security Tracker.
Thank you very much. The Nigeria Security Tracker. You mentioned those they were killed in the church, and they were who are the ones killing these people? Who? There must be somebody. It's not ghosts. So there must be somebody killing. Who were doing these killings? Were they Christians?
By terrorists. Yes.
Terrorist element. Okay, yes. Now if this terrorist element, do you know which part of the country they belong?
Most of the people that were affected are from the northern part of the country.
No, I know. I'm saying these terrorist elements who were doing these killings, which part of the country are they from?
You can't say that, because if you look at it, apart from having terrorist elements within the country from the northern part that are killing the people, and we have also those that are extremists, religious extremists that are killing the people. We have people that are coming out from other parts of the country to come and kill the people. Then we also have people that are killing Nigerians from the southeast, the IPOP terrorists. And so why are we now trying to now make it look like, the people is this same particular tribe or this thing? Which means we have people that are killing Christians in Nigeria. So let's not make it one-sided. That's why I said we shouldn't be playing this politics of division. Let's call out we have a terrorist and insecurity problem, and we face it and deal with it instead of playing this politics of. There is no way ever. And you remember what I said in the morning, that we should stop romanticizing and pampering these terrorists, because that is the reality of what our government is doing. You cannot be romanticizing and pampering terrorists and expect an end to insecurity. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Budget. Please, guys, I know you guys are raising your hand. I would, if I may respond to him, then I'll come back to you guys. Hope that's okay. Now, our problem is that we have not accepted that we have a problem. We're looking for solution, but we have not accepted that we have a problem. Mention the IPOB and everything. Those who like to be honest with themselves will tell you that some of the elements, some of the criminals, some of the terrorists who were committing this thing, they are not from heaven. They are from the villages, some of the villages from the southeast. Anybody who like to be honest to themselves. And then let me be very clear with this, right? And you see some person from the southeast who will say, these guys who are committing this, these are our people. We don't want it. This is how you solve the problem. That is the best way to solve it. But if we are going to say, no, because these persons are from my end, I'm going to carry everybody together. We are not going to get anywhere with this thing. This is the biggest problem in this country. Oh, we are going to come together and solve the problem, but we have not accepted that we have a problem. There are a lot of people from the southeast who, if you bring them up on this platform now, they will tell you those criminals, those elements, those terrorists who committed this from our communities, and we don't want them. We don't want them. They will keep amplifying this. We don't want them because we know who they are. But when you have a report from the United States or from where, other persons who have said to you, these people are being killed. They are from a certain place. They are being killed by a certain people. We have to tell ourselves the truth. Are people being killed in Benue State? Absolutely. Are they by these certain persons? Absolutely. But not everybody from that particular ethnic group are doing this thing. Then we can solve this problem. But this idea that we are not going to call it what it is why the United States don't believe anything we are saying. That's why Trump sent them. Nigeria did not invite them. The idea that Nigeria invited them is a lie. They were sent by Donald Trump, the United States president, who was the one that told them, come out here, do the fine finding for yourself, bring it back to me, then I will make a decision. Master, if you have the mic.
Thank you so much, Mindset. Thank you. Good evening once more, guys. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Mindset, I love that you caught what Budget tried to do here. You asked him a very simple question. That ABCD question. Who are the people? He danced around, he threw his soccer out of the pram, then he went out and his mouth was he was so strong when he was talking about other people's religion. But call out the one in your backyard, nah, it's too heavy for us. But yes, guys, I will go into the fact of the matter. I mean, all you have to do is to search the internet. Because if you're listening to a space right now, you can search the internet and you ask, please, can you list out the terrorist organizations in Nigeria? And we know the biggest one, which is Boko Haram, and it was founded in 2002 by Mohammed Yusuf. And what is the ideology of this group? Radical Islamism. Then you see ISWAP, Islamic State of African Province. What are their ideologies? Radical Islamism. You look at Ansari, okay? You see, most of us, right, myself included, till I think it was 2 months ago, I really didn't pay much attention to anything, Boko Haram, and they are all their shenanigans, the whole group. There are so many groups right now coming out from that, from the northern part of Nigeria. I really based my focus on the southeast. And the reason why I did that there, because I know like the southeast is like the closest, like from my local government to the southeast, I can really just trek and I'm inside Imo State. So I based my focus on there because I don't want that coming into my home. Mindset, there's this organization called Open Doors, right? Open Doors is a UK and Ireland international NGO, and they've been existing for 60 years. And in 2014, Open Doors talked about the increasing concerns about the situation in Nigeria when it comes to Christians. They submitted this report to the UK Parliament. Okay, so I will read out a few excerpts from this report. So, 37,500 persons were estimated to have been killed by Boko Haram's insurgency. And out of that, uh, 3,641 were killed between January 2016 and October 2018 due to Fulani militant violence. 7% of them in 2018 alone. Between October 2019 and September 2020, 5,678 people were killed due to Boko Haram insurgents, Fulani militants, and armed bandits. Okay, and in fact, the list goes on and on and on and on. And I would base my submission this evening on facts. In my brothers and my sisters, fellow Nigerians on this platform, what are the facts? In March 6, 2020, Buhari himself, through his information minister, Lai Mohammed, came out and said this from his own mouth. There's even a video of it on the internet that Boko Haram have resort to launching targeted attack at churches, and this is in a bid to start a religious war. Boko Haram, they are attacking Christians, a shift from their earlier non-discriminatory violence. So will you tell me that Lai Mohammed, that is a Muslim under a Muslim president, did not run this through his master before he made this public? It is on the internet. We are not here to do peace and unity, because one thing I do not like about Nigerians is how everybody sues for peace without justice. Okay, miss me with that. I said there are books, right? There's one thing people know, and they've said over and over again about Black people. And I wish that moving forward, more Black persons will go to the internet, use the resources available, and download books. Mine said there are books showing that Boko Haram in 2011 and 2012 repeatedly bombed churches. Okay, and what these guys were saying is the Nigerian government, Jonathan, is equipping Christians to attack Muslims. They bombed churches in Plateau, they bombed churches all over the north, and they were accusing Christians of killing Muslims with the help of the government. We would not forget that. So when you come here, you try to hide under some banner of unity. When we want to call out IPOB, I carry my pitchfork and I go to battle. I know many of them in this. Sometimes when I go to their
Sorry,
spaces,
have we lost
yeah,
Is it from my end?
Yeah, I can still hear him. Maybe
please, oh, mindset, hear me, oh, mindset, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go ahead. I apologize. Go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Right. So I'm still going to be here. Oh, I know this my submission is going to be long, so I'm going to cut it in different phases mindset because I have been reading a lot of books. I'm not here to come and do emotional sentiments. I have been reading a lot of books about people hiding under the banner of Islamism to carry out terrorist acts in Nigeria. When we want to talk about the Christian terrorists and their ways, we will come out and talk about it. When we talk about IPOB terrorists, we'll come out and talk about it. But right now, what is the crux of the matter? A bunch of terrorists hiding under Islam are killing Nigerian Christians. They are facts, they are figures. And if at this stage you do not want to say the truth and you want to hide under, oh, let's not politicize it, we are not ready to have conversations. But I've spoken for a while. I will just put down my phone and I will listen to what the next person has to say. But I'll be back Mindset, I'm sorry, I will use this space as an educational space today because I'm bringing out my books. I will go to the book. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your wonderful submission. As always, you're welcome to share those knowledge with us, and would learn from you. Thank you once again. Mr. Baiki, you raised your hand. Go ahead, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Mindset. Sorry, I'm just joining you guys. After listening to project, I decided to send in some videos we did at a victims conference. Uh, I would want him to go through those videos and hear victims explain or say what they went through and who the perpetrators are. So there is nothing to hide, there is nothing political. If we don't get it right, we will not get it right. It is going to be very dangerous because you see, just like Boko Haram went after Christians and Muslims in the northeast, Lakurawa is doing the same. So you see, don't protect anybody. Don't protect anybody. Look, somebody has sounded a alarm. Listen to that alarm, or else, if you don't listen to the fire alarm, you burn in the fire. Our alarm has been set and is ringing. So please listen to the ring and try and save the situation. That is the situation which we are. For as long as we deny these things, that Christians are not being killed, it's a political thing. IPOP in the southeast, Lakurawa, who are the Lakurawas? Who is JNIM? Who is ISIS? Who is Al Qaeda in the Maghreb? Look, these things are not hidden. So I think we shouldn't play politics with this. These are facts. Look, if you look at the videos I sent in now, these are over 5-year-old videos of victim conference. So what this look, when we do those videos, we did over 300 victims, 300 from Kwara, from Kogi, from Plateau, from Benue, from Borno. We did over 300 victims of these things. Nothing to hide. So this is not what you are saying now. What we are seeing now didn't start today. What Americans are doing today didn't start today. It's there. So let's bring this thing to an end. If we need help, please let's cry out for help. There's nothing political about this. I use my.
Thank you very much, Mr. Baiki. Mr. Budget, you have the mic, sir.
Yeah, thank you once again. It is good that Master Chef has made it clear that it is politicians here to play. But us that are interested in having Nigerians and our country secured will do what is the needful to make sure that our country is secured and our people are secured. It is okay for you to try and say, oh, I didn't hit the nail on the head. But in reality, when Myself asked this question, he said, who are these people doing the killings? And it is disingenuous and hypocritical if you cannot call the people. I put everybody into the baskets. I didn't remove anybody. I called from the north to the south, everybody that is part of the problem of the insecurity. Because the discussion here today, up there, is insecurity in Nigeria. So if you are here to talk of insecurity in Nigeria, but you want to only push your propaganda narrative of, oh, it is not that people are being killed only in this country, then it is very, very unfortunate. I did a space some time ago, and the main issues of this country are two: leadership and ignorance of people that think, oh, they know what they know, or they can, speak English and just say any nonsense because they just want to, suit themselves with the narrative that they want to push. Because let's take it, back again. This is America that is coming to tell us that there is a Christian genocide in Nigeria. Reports were out not long ago when they were, sponsoring Boko Haram through the US aid. So if they are telling us that there is a genocide of Christians in Nigeria, then they should be clear on it that they are the ones promoted and carried out that genocide in Nigeria. There is no addressing this issue. The Nigerian government has failed in securing map, and we have made that categorically clear. It is not a matter of, oh, it is this, it is that. There is only one thing I believe on the surface of this earth. A terrorist deserves nothing but a bullet. There is no repentance. There is no matter of, oh, forgiveness. Anybody that terrorizes Nigeria and Nigerians should be made to go and face his law. Let him go and answer for his crimes in wherever he's going. Unfortunately, the people that are supposed to stand and do the needful, talk on the issue, see how we can stand and make sure that this country is secured. Is it the Muslim that is supposed to secure you, or the Christian that is supposed to secure you, or the Igbo, or the Hausa, or the Yoruba that is supposed to secure you? Why did we come and agree to vote for a president? We have a commander-in-chief of armed forces, and he's there sitting and enjoying and chilling in the villa. Why the people that are supposed to hold him accountable are busy spreading propagandas just to suit their narrative? It is very, very unfortunate, as I have said. But we are not ready for discussion on how to save this country and move forward. Because when we talk and tell you this is what we need to do, you say, oh, there is no this thing of peace. We don't want justice. What is more justice? What justice will you get more than sending these terrorists to where they belong? But you just want to play politics, as she has said it, Master Chef, and it's not the first time she's doing it. But it is well for those that have ears and eyes that really want the truth, can see through all this, propaganda that they are doing. So I'll stop here for now, myself.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Budget, for your response to myself and Master Chief. Master Chief, please, if you can, when it comes to this laughing emoji, it just doesn't sit well with me. Just let's turn it down a little bit. We are here on a serious business now. Let me quickly allow Mr. Yusuf to speak. Then I will respond to some of the things that you said. If there's another person who would like to join the platform, please raise your hand. You can comment on the comment section. We will read out some of the, some of your comments if you're not able to speak. Mr. Yusuf, good evening. You have the mic.
Yeah, good evening, Mindset, and thank you for the opportunity. You see, the problem we have is we love to beat around the bush. There is a certain pattern that particularly the North has demonstrated ever since the emergence of Boko Haram. Budget finished speaking of that the only thing to do is to just eliminate the terrorists and all of that. But it was not in the southeast, it was not in the southwest, it was not in the middle belt that protests were made against an attempt to eliminate the terrorists. The people at the forefront of basically campaigning or championing the idea of appeasing the terrorists. In other words, the terrorists are meeting them. They are Muslims from the northern part of the country. Sheikh Gumi is the head of the terrorists that basically interfaces with the government. In a functioning society, he should either have been eliminated, or he should be spending time in jail, or he should be on exile. And that is the reason why Saudi Arabia cannot have him there. Quite a number of countries cannot have him, the same as the other terrorists that unite. It is politicians of Northern, I think even the NSA is of the opinion that non-kinetic approach should be engaged with that. And we know very well, unless we want to lie, that the reason they advocate non-kinetic approach is because the religion and ethnicity of the killers, they share in common with them. They are Fulani, they are Muslims, most of them. And I have often said that possibly if the PDP had not proscribed Boko Haram, there is a likelihood the APC will not have done it, especially looking at the body language of Buhari when Goodluck was about to eliminate, to completely crush Boko Haram. Budget made a statement saying who was the one that led, voting out the PDP in 2015 or 20, Yeah, was it in 2015 Buhari came to power? Yes, I think so, in 2015. The truth of the matter is that Goodluck was not voted out of office because of insecurity. He was voted out of office because people felt, you see, I'm going to say this really, it will offend many people that you do so. Whereas in the northern part of in the southern part of the country, people were chanting change, change, change. In the northern part of the country, it was simply a question of let's kick out the infidel and bring in the Muslim. Maybe that was basically what happened. And that is the reason why after Buhari's 8 years, when Buhari came to power, the only thing that Nigeria saw was huge funding from Democrats in the US that did not translate to eliminating terrorists, but the proliferation of Islamist groups. That was when the Islamist militia, the Fulani Islamist militia, gained ground, began killing people, and then the government began holding bricks for them. Like they will tell the people in Benue, if you don't want them to kill you, give them your land and all of that. So Buhari's regime basically befriended Nigerian government with Islamist militia. And that is the reason why even today you will have a national security advisor that in a single statement will tell you how they are bombarding the ones in the southeast. And then the moment he shifts to the middle belt, he waters it down. There is no part of the world where people are being killed like Nigeria's middle belt. The most dangerous terrorist organization is the Fulani Islamist militia operating in the middle belt. There is no terrorist organization today that you can tell attacked singly and killed up 400 people in one attack. But the Fulani Islamist militia have done it in different parts of the Middle Belt countless times. Now, when you talk about eliminating them, you can't be speaking with both sides of the mouth. The reason why budget does not have a straight answer to the question of who does the killings, whether it's Muslims that are killed, or whether it is the Christians that are killed, whether it is atheists that are killed, what is the common denominator between the massacre and what is the vision? The reason he can't give the answer is simply because they are Islamist militia. That is the reason why you find the government voting huge sums to create kinds of names for them. They call them, they call the farmer had class. They call them bandits. They call them that and all of that. In Nigeria, where Sheikh Mahmoud Gulu has the impetus of holding brief for terrorists. Now, this man will mount a podium and there is a policeman standing, and everything he spews out of his mouth is just as a spokesperson of a terrorist organization. And nobody has arrested him. That gives you an idea of complicity and the compromise. And that is why people are afraid of because you see, like I said, the PDP was kicked out not because it was the PDP, it was because people felt it is time for Muslim to come in comfortable. That was basically the pattern that happened. We know what happened. We know what happened when Yahuwah was killed in that, and that we know the utterances and the celebrations that people did. So there are a whole lot of things. You hear the utterance of Nasir El-Rufai with regards to what he did in Katrina. You hear all of these comments, and then you find somebody trying to beat around the bush to tell you things. If you want the terror to be eliminated, why are the elites from northern part of the country always championing non-kinetic approach? So it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. And I would summarize by saying something about IPOP. However you choose to describe them, whether it's terrorist or whatsoever, I think to be secessionists. Whatever their modus operandi is, it's unfortunate and to deal with them in that regard. But what I have not come across is to find anybody, because when I find people from Southeastern extraction that have a problem with IPOP, they host spaces and they criticize them from beginning to end. If they want to celebrate killing them, they celebrate it. If they want to condemn them, they condemn them. But it is a localized group. The example I'm giving you is you don't find IPOP in Lagos raping and killing women. You don't find IPOP in uh, Bauchi raping and killing women. You don't find IPOP in Sokoto raping and killing women and taking over their land. I'm just trying to bring a contrast between the groups because it looks as if when we speak about terrorism or the Fulani Islamist militia, somebody wants to draw a parallel with IPOB. The Fulani Islamist militia is an invading force that is far armed than any other group on the surface of this earth. It has shot down military airplanes. It has attacked the Nigerian Defense Academy. It has moved across the Middle Belt. It has killed hundreds of thousands. I know the figures that they say and people are arguing. We know how they kill people. When they kill people, the government gives you maybe less than 20 or 50% of the figures. So we know what they do and we know what their mission is. They are the militant arm of the Islamization agenda. Unless we come to terms with what this evil is, we can't solve it. So you can't shy away from the fact and at the same time claim you want to eliminate them. That's just the point I want to say.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf, for your submission. Now, I just wanted to put this out there. This is not a, we're not. I'm not here to absorb IPOB or what have you. From the criminality they've done in the southeast, right? Now, everything that they've done, they continue to do in the southeast, so is criminal, it's terrorism. So I've just got what it is. Whether they've left where they are, and traveled to a different place and kill people or not to kill people. We must call it what it is. Wherever a criminal is, wherever a terrorist is a terrorist. But I like what Mr. Yusuf said. A lot of people from the southeast, you see them calling these people out and say, we do not want these people around us. These guys are criminals. They have destroyed this part of the country. They have destroyed so many villages. This is what I expected from others to do. And I must say, there are not a lot of, and Mr. Mikey here is a northerner from Kano State. You can hear him saying these things, and that's going on in the north, right? But I want us to go back in this place this evening because it's about the report from the Congressman Riley Moore. I want us to center our topic on that. What do you make of it? Where are we heading with it? But before that, I can still have the new speaker. Miss First, you have the mic. If I pass the mic to those who have spoken earlier on. You have the mic, madam.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, Mike. Good evening, everyone on the space. Meet with everyone. I want to start with to say that I am very particularly wary of people who would always start whenever insecurity is being discussed and the country. They will usually start with, "Oh, we need to come together. We need to be united in the problem." But they cannot prefer apart from preaching fake unity. I always ask myself, are we not even united? Are we not united as a country? What is that unity that they keep pushing instead of standing with the truth? Anyway, be that as it may, just to stick to your topic tonight. I'm also very happy that the United States decided to come by themselves to see for themselves. And this goes a long way to tell how they regard us as a country, how they regard the information that is coming out. It means that they do not trust that the Nigerian government or whoever is responsible for information will be able to give them the truth. And obviously, because there are conflicting reports coming out from every quarters, because some people are so interested in protecting their terrorists and making sure that nothing happens to them. So they are ready to push any point to some of the IDP camps. I was quite happy when I saw that because it's better he had come himself to see the situation, to listen to some of the people who have experienced this. Is their lived experiences. Some of us probably have not really experienced it apart from watching videos and reading books and following the news. But these are people who knows who attacked them. These are people who are part of the attack. These are people who live in fear every moment, even in the IDP camp where they still attack. So I'm so happy that America came themselves, at least speak with the people, analyze the situation by themselves, because if they to rely on the reports coming out from our country, it's been distorted so much, and there is so much unnecessary pushback, especially coming from the north, that is putting out so much fake information and propaganda out there that will confuse the whole mission. So I'm glad that America came and then they have investigated, and I'm just looking forward to what is going to happen from now. Thank you, myself.
Thank you very much. So guys, as I've said, we are centered around dates, right? So whoever that wants to speak, let's would set our topic today. We'll discuss other things, but this is the more reason why this evening. Budget, go ahead, sir.
Yes, thank you, Answer. But you know, there are some things that to be said because some people came here to claim that, oh, no, I've not rejected this or I've not spoken to this. But unfortunately, they live in their cocoon or their cages to say this sort of, nonsense. Because if even on this X, thousands of spaces, Northerners speaking against this issue of security and condemning the actions of these people that use the name of Islam to perpetrate terror. But if you as a person cannot see that, but the hate in you and the hate you have for Muslims is overshadowing and blocking your eyes from seeing the truth, then that is not our problem. Because we have prominent religious leaders, Islamist leaders that have been killed because of their stance against this Boko Haram. Sheikh Jafar, Albani Zaria, all of them were killed. In fact, almost all Jummah mosques you go, you hear people talk of insecurity. The Imam, when he gives his Friday sermon, they will speak on insecurity and denounce all this nonsense that is happening. But you have never been to any mosques, you have never listened to any sermon, but you are okay to open your mouth to say, oh, Muslims don't condemn these things. And this is the reality of our country. The hate that people carry in their heart has overshadowed their sense of reasoning. But moving on that issue, you see, let's tell ourselves the truth. Nigeria has a serious problem of leadership because it is in this same country you see people in places where it is Muslim dominated, and you see that there are Christian people that are being oppressed. And in this same country, you see where Christians dominate and they oppress the Muslims. Because why? Leadership has failed. The institutions that are supposed to hold people accountable are not working. But we are all here blaming another religion or tribe or region for the problems that the government that we all voted for and agreed that in the constitution that binds us as a people has failed to do that. But it is okay that you want to play politics of division. But for us, as I have said time and time again, we are not going to take that, and we will keep on pushing back on all these propaganda narratives that are being pushed across this country. And on the issue of the US coming up and saying all these things and even sending their people, there is nothing. In fact, they do not have the interest. I will say this categorically. Whether you take it as my opinion or what, I will still say it. They do not have the interest of this country and the interest of Nigerians at heart. Because we have seen the same US kill a lot of Christians across the world. We have seen this same US take the Israel that is killing a lot of Christians in Palestine and across the other parts of the world as their greatest ally. So do not give us any. We know our history, we know what is happening across the world, and you cannot come and bamboozle us and push all sorts of useless narrative just to push your agenda against Muslims and Christians. There is no way in any ramification that a Muslim that knows the Quran and the Sunnah that has taught us that if you take a life, it's like you have killed the whole of humanity. And he who takes a life is like he has saved the whole of mankind. Our religion has taught us that clearly. But you always choose the kind of Islam you want to believe is Islam to you, because this same Master Chief, the same thing she did in one of our spaces. We Muslims were telling her, in fact, I can't count the amount of Muslims that were telling her these people are not doing this or that. But the moment one person came up and said a narrative that suits her, she ran with it. Oh, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for that. This is the hypocrisy and their intention. Anyway, the only reason I'm here is because I promised myself I'll be here. I have other things to do, but I've said my piece, and who wants to continue to fool himself, as I said, ignorance is part of our main problem. But thank you once again for having me, Mr. Mensa, and hopefully we'll get to have more discussions in the future.
Thank you very much, Budget. I raised my hand because I've said it before. I don't care what happened in other platforms. I don't have any authority to tell people how they run their platforms. So I'm having my spaces here. So whatever we want to discuss, let it be what has, we are discussing here. Please, I hope you're still with us because there's a lot of questions from my end, and I believe people would like to respond to your questions as well. Okay, Mr. Baiki has dropped. Okay. Right. Let me, Master Chief, please, if you want to respond to budget or anybody wants to respond, let's just go straight to the topic. I don't want to digress because we have people who are listening. It's very, very important to me, right? Um, Master Chief, hold the thought for a minute. Big Sam, what is it regarding, sir?
Thank you, myself. What I wanted to tell to respond to budget is that it should not be moving around the corner. Let us just say the truth. One is that the IPOB, you are comparing IPOB. I'm from Southeast, and I have never supported. Even go to my page, you will see I have never tweeted support IPOB. I always condemn what they do. Even if you can't IPOB, they do this. How many IDP camps you see in the Southeast? If you are counting like that, how many IDP camps is in the Southeast? How many IDP camp is in the middle belt? These are Christian genocide. There is Christian genocide that is happening in Nigeria. I'm not saying that Muslims are not being killed, but let us call this spade a spade. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Master Chief, you have the mic, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mindset. Thank you. So I will speak on this tweet by the rep more, but I noticed a pattern in mine, and when this pattern comes up in conversations, it tries to throw people off the loop, and it gives you this, oh, am I going to be called a bigot, or am I going to be called Islamophobic? And once that pattern comes, people like me, I'm like, you go back to your shell. But there's an important thing that happened here. Why is it that we are talking about violent extremism and someone comes here, he brings up political angle, now he's bringing up Islamic angle. It's worrisome mindset that people can never stay on topic. It's very, very worrisome. But back to the tweet, right? This is something that a bunch of Nigerians, because we've been seeing dead bodies. Mindset late last year, I wish I could even take a screenshot of my muted words. I had to mute Benue. I had to mute, I guess some words I had to mute so I can stop seeing cops on my timeline. Because you're just waking up in the morning, you come into Twitter and you're seeing someone's head being split open. Okay. So when you see things like this and people that are there to them goes to the highest authority, and the highest authority, which is the Nigerian government, does nothing about it because this is a reoccurrence. It did not happen, it did not just start last night, it didn't just start this year. It's a reoccurring thing. Okay. And when something becomes a thing, there's a problem. And these men and women take their case to God. And I'm sure in God, in His infinite wisdom, tells them, okay, since the nonchalant Nigerian government cannot do something to you, it's time to bring their legs out. And this is what we are seeing, right? There are Nigerians living in Nigeria, guys. I'm trying to put this in perspective because when people say IDP, people don't understand what that word is. In this country where people will come here and preach, oh, peace, unity, love, and all those blah, 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 there are Nigerians that are displaced. In this country, we have had our dinners. Most of us were well fed on our beds with our brand new gadgets. There are Nigerians like you and I that are internally displaced by what? Violent terrorists. And I want to clear something myself, if you would give me a second. okay? Because we don't have to let things fly because someone that claims others are pushing an agenda is trying to push an agenda. And one thing that scares me most is when people talk in subtle voices. It gives me the creeps. You cannot say, oh, this person is not a Muslim, this person is not a Muslim. And I would agree. There are some people that believe that Jesus is God, and there are some people that say, no, he's not God, he's this, he's whatever. Your religion is supposed to be your personal faith. But when you come on a platform, because someone asks you a question, so if you're my friend and I say something bad about Muhammad, what would you do? And the person said, I would behead you on my platform. And the next thing, the other one comes, and two of them, and he lied. This guy lied on your stage. I said, two. The other one said a very dangerous thing that somebody, I'm sorry, myself, had to send me a DM and tell me if this guy dies, his blood is on your head. So I will wrap up with this. If we really want peace in Nigeria, we want our insecurity to be stopped. People should be allowed to be free to speak. People should be allowed to say their truth. And that is the only way. And then we will get the answer to this long question we've been asking. Like myself, you've asked, and I'll also throw it. Who exactly is killing Nigerians? Are they ghosts? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Master Chief. Like I raised my hand when Mr. Budget mentioned a particular platform. I think he made reference to your platform and you're talking about. I don't get involved in what's happening on the other platforms, and hence I try not to, discuss what is going on in the other platforms or on my platform because I don't want. Yes, because I was not there. You see anything? I don't know what happened. Right? I'm not stopping people from paying their people. I hardly do spaces. I like to stick to my little one that I have here and have people like yourself, Budget, and every other person, we disagree and we agree. So whatever happened in other spaces, I cannot verify what was said. But the truth of the matter here is we have a problem. And until we realize that we have a problem, there is absolutely no way we are going to find solution if we do not accept that we have a problem. So finding solution is a good thing, but the first thing here is, do we have a problem? Let's admit that we have a problem. We have to tell ourselves what the problems are, right? If we cannot tell ourselves what these problems are, we can preach from today to tomorrow. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We must admit that we have a problem in Nigeria, right? Mr. Baiki, you're back again. You have the mic.
Very much, mindset. Thank you very much. It is interesting that the project mentioned names of Sheikh Jafar, sheikhs that have been killed by who? And he left out the likes of what happened to El Zazaki, what happened to the Shiites in Zaria, over 3,000 of them, by who? I mean, that is a massacre. That is a genocide. Nobody is complaining about it. 3,000 souls go in one night in Zaria, buried in Kaduna. I mean, if you know that Sheikh Jafar was killed, if you know this man in Zaria was killed, if you know what do you call him, Muhammad Yusuf himself was killed, by who? So who did the killings in Zaria equally? So I think we should balance things. We should try as much as possible to be honest. You cannot mention Islamic clerics that are your sectarian ideas and thoughts, and then leave others out, like the Shiites. So let's balance it. Call me a Christian, call a Catholic a Christian. They're first and foremost, they're all human beings. So please, let's not try to place others above us. Thank you very much, Minister.
All right, so I want us to go back to the topic tonight, and I think, Mr. Yusuf, I saw you raise your hand, but I want to go back to the topic for tonight. This is about the Congressman Riley Moore, his reports, and I think I'm going to start with Mr. Baiki, because if there's anybody who understands what is going on, better than myself, or better than every one of us, is Mr. Baiki. So, Mr. Baiki, you saw the reports or the tweet from the congressman Riley Moore, the first one he put out there. Let's start with the first one that he put out there. What do you make of it? Not the second one. I wanted to start with the first one.
It's what we've always been saying here, that it's not over yet. He wasn't there today. He wasn't there yesterday. He was there on Saturday or Sunday. That was when he was there. But look at how comfortable the killers got, the Islamists got. Like, oh, things are being put in shape. There's an understanding. There's mindset. You've said it several times here on this space that it has not started. Americans have not started. They are not going to do anything without sufficient information, without sufficient data. So you said it several times, because collaboration, investigation. Well, here we are. This is part of the collaboration. Nigeria, telling the truth. America is telling the truth. So let's look at it as part of the collaboration many people believe is ongoing. I rest.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have anybody who would like to speak on the topic? I don't want us to go back to the other one. Anyway, I can see you here, and please, anybody who would like to speak on that particular topic, on the Congressman, his findings and the tweet that he put out there, what do you make of it? Do you think America is not here to help us? Do you think this thing is not going anywhere? Do you think that a deal has been reached out with America and Nigeria? That's what I want us to focus more on. Mr. Yusuf, you raised your hand. Please go ahead, sir.
Right, mindset. Thank you. The post is about humanity, because this basically is the man that is connecting with the people on ground. I think I was on an interview with an American, and I said, no matter how corrupt the US is, I do not think there would be any non-state actor that would actually wipe out 500 or 80 or 300 of its citizens, rape their women, and still remain on the soil of the US in some push, while the US government is actively denying what's happening. The man came in, he just went to Benue. He touched down in Benue. And I can assure you, if he had gone to Southern Kaduna, if he had gone to Jos, if he had gone to Plateau State, he would have had devastating stories. He made reference to a woman whose family was wiped out. There are women you meet, and I usually tell people they haven't even started mourning because they just live in IDP camps. And I met a woman that, we took medications, supplies to. When she came to thank us, the question she was asking is, while I appreciate you guys, but how long do you intend to do this? We want to go back home. How many other places do you have to go to? How do you hope to sustain this? When you look at her, it looked as if there was no bitterness, there was calm and all of that. But you would look at a woman that has caged pain, and she needs to return home to let it go. Because basically they just live there at primary school, and then you look around, possibly there's a tank with the military somewhere. And so it's a life that is unfortunate, and he has come in touch with the reality of the ground. So he has listened to the people that have been affected. He has spoken to women that have been forced to watch what was done to their families. He has met men that have been forced to watch what was done to their women. So it's not exactly a case of we've had stories, so we came into the country and everything is all rosy. I've had people coming up to tell people that we are living peacefully between Muslims and Christians and everything. Then once American from somewhere will want to just create a problem. And I would always ask them, do you think the Christians are fools, burying people every now and then they don't understand their pain? Initially the story started off from, I remember at some point somebody was saying, somebody has never actually made that statement, that the Middle Belt should remember how Gideon Hoka was used and dumped, Dimka was used and dumped. So they are pushing people to be saying things. And when problem comes, every other person will pull out and leave you alone. So there are these very stupid utterances that people make. And I think this visit is, I would call it, the final nail on the coffin. This visit is something that would either demonstrate the moral will of the United States in terms of what it has picked in Nigeria or what it has documented in Nigeria. And they have all of these things documented, but I am certain for the congressman to come into the country and touch base with this thing, I think it wasn't as if he was coming to see whether it is true or not true. I believe, in my own thinking, it was his way of let me feel, let me identify with what we know. And basically, that was what he did. And that's why when you look at the content of his post, you will see strictly the human aspect of it. It had nothing to do with whether he was coming from America, whether he was a congressman. This was just a man connecting with people that have been hurt by Islamists. And I think if there is anything, I am hopeful. Of course, people say let us hope for the best and expect the worst, but I am hopeful that the next couple of weeks will be very profound to both nations, basically.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf, for your submission. I'll pass the mic to Justice. I know you're here, please. I know you're here. Bear with me for a minute. And Roy and Boget. Let me hear from Ariwa, then we can pass the mic to the next speaker. Ariwa, you have the mic. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mindset, and good evening to everyone on the platform. You see, Mindset, the visit by Riley Moore, I think it just did one thing for me, that it proves what we've been saying over time, that this is a biased agenda determined to chase away Muslims and Fulanis from some particular states in the North Central. How can you come to a crisis-infected nation like Nigeria talking about terrorism, and you don't even have the effrontery to look at states that the epicenter of this issue entirely, that is where you should even be going if you intend to provide some form of military support? He didn't bother going to the far north. He didn't even bother going to Borno State. Even if not for the Muslims, there are Christians in Borno State and that have been displaced. But do you know why he didn't go there? Because that is where he will get both sides of the story. Even in Benue State, he didn't visit even one communities of the affected Fulanis that lost their cows in millions and their houses, they were ransacked, people were killed. He didn't even bother. There is a strategic decision in this state to get rid of Muslims, and we know in Plateau State and in Benue State, it's been obvious for years. When the Plateau State crisis happened, the entire agenda was because they don't want Muslims in Plateau State anymore. That was what brought about the crisis. In Benue State, the government of Benue State during autumn signed an anti-grazing law to ban people, an entire tribe from moving around by the so-called anti-grazing law. In fact, the then governor came out on live television on podium and said the only reason he's not going to vote for Atiku Abubakar is because he's a Fulani man. So you decide to categorize an entire tribe and profile them and just give them a title and you want to fly with it. So the only thing I can see from what happened today is that the agenda is clear, that some people are trying to build a particular narrative in order to tactically eliminate a particular group of people by portraying them as the perpetrators while they are actually victims. Because if you truly want the truth of this issue, or you want to ascertain what is happening in the Nigerian security problems we have in Nigeria, you cannot avoid the Northwest particularly. These stories he is narrating that a woman said this and that, of course, nobody deserves that, but this is some things that are happening on a daily. If you could have visited these places that he is supposed to visit, these are things that are happening right now as we are in this space talking. It is happening more than that. So to me, I feel there is nothing about this visit except it has proven clearly that there is an arrangement to sell a particular story, and people must take it whether they like it or not. And we will not take it. History will remember we did it, no matter how it turns out to be, because we are not stupid. We cannot have people who have been killed in thousands in both Plateau and Benue State right in front of our eyes, and then today we will wake up, people are rewriting history right in front of us. So it's amazing how people even do it with a straight face. I even want these Fulani militias that people are talking about, people tend to forget that the Fulani as a person, you cannot just profile the entire race because some of them decided to do something you don't like. And then you just profile everybody and you put them in one box, and then you keep pushing the narrative like that, and you are surprised that they dislike you too. So the issue here is simple. Any intelligence that America intends to gather or information to help fight insecurity is null and void to me, so long as you did not go to the Northwest, you didn't go to Borno State, you are not in Adamawa State, you are not in Katsina, you are not in Zamfara, you are not doing nothing. As far as Nigerian security challenge is concerned, you have done absolutely nothing. You just keep your photo shoots. That is what you came to do. Rather, you're not here to help anybody, because you already have an agenda, a script that you are sticking to. We have to be open-minded if you want to tackle this insecurity. We have to tell ourselves the truth. We have to tell ourselves the truth, and it is that simple. So regarding any issues that people are trying to put around about Islamization and what have you, go and see for yourself. People are just in their bubble. They don't even know what is happening in northern Nigeria. They just look at it in a way. They create the scenario in their head and assume this is how North is, and this is how Northerners are, and this is how Fulani are, and then they just go with it, and you can't tell them your own reality. They want to tell you your own story. So as far as I'm concerned, and as far as majority of Northerners are concerned, we will kick against this. We will kick against this, not because we don't want insecurity to end in Nigeria, but because this approach is a biased approach targeted at marginalizing Muslims and Northerners, especially Fulanis, and we will not be oppressed. So if he wants to help, if America wants to help Nigeria, they should go about it the right way. This is not how they should go about it, because this is not helping anybody. In fact, it is seeding division in Nigeria more than we can imagine, and the aftermath will be consequential, because they will leave us far more divided than we already are, and they will not still solve the situation. And do you know why they will not solve the situation? Because they don't even want to tackle the main problem. They don't want to tackle the people that have been linked to American sponsorship, the Boko Harams and the ISWAP, that have been linked to sponsorship from America by the US aid. These are not my words. This is the words of an American congressman and a senator. So they are being biased in their approach. They are not being truthful to the situation. And it's a strategic target to marginalize the Muslims and Northerners. And we will see that is a clear message that Riley Moore passed in this visit. I yield.
All right. Thank you, Ariwa, for your submission. Mr. Justice, I would have loved for you to respond, but Mr. Yusuf said there's something important he wanted to say. I'm not sure if he's leaving the platform. Are you happy for him to speak before yourself? If not, I'll pass the mic to you. Okay, Yusuf, please quickly. Go ahead, sir.
Now, Ariwa's submission is a clear proof as to why insecurity, this Islamist killings, is only on the increase. And I love the fact that it is more that says the majority of northern Muslims will not accept it. Wherever there is a genuine, I told somebody, I said, the very moment a genuine attempt is made at eliminating these terrorists, their owners will always rise to defend them. You can imagine a man coming to look at a well-armed terrorist group that has that over almost for 2 decades had demonstrated the capability of wiping hundreds of people in each attack they make. He wants to convince people that they are victims. He said it is Autumn kept burying people in Benue until people like Ariwa started accusing him of burying empty coffins. Sheikh Gumi did the same thing. But his problem is that they banned open grazing. How do you intend to run the lifestyle of a barbarian in modern day by raping women and killing people? If everybody in Nigeria was to unleash their ancient cultures, how many places do you think, even with charm, you can enter anywhere outside your locality? There are tribes that share the same language and culture, and you will have to carry a mark to have to either go to the stream and come back because somebody is going to take you out. Civilization has given room for people to try to integrate into loving people and living a new life. But somebody believes that there is a particular route that he believes his forefathers did. And I've told people, I said, the Nok culture in the middle belt of Nigeria has been there for almost 1,000 years before the Christian era began. So it is not a people that you will wake up tomorrow and say that they migrated to the place and they met this and that. Somebody wakes up and he drives cattle and tell you that that's his lifestyle. He said that that is his lifestyle, his archaic lifestyle, but he hopes to sustain it with AK-47, with RPGs and all of that. In the entirety of the Middle Belt, I need somebody to tell me one militant group that you know that is operational in the Middle Belt, even for the sake of defending the Middle Belt. But across the Middle Belt, the only common denominator to mass murders, to mass rape, to lynching people is the Fulani Islamist militia. And it only takes a terrorist apologist. I'm very sorry, myself. It only takes a terrorist apologist to sit down and pick a terrorist organization and intends to paint them as victims by trying to gaslight people. It is a very painful scenario. Frankly speaking, we need to be blunt about it. The people being killed are real human beings. But when you find the likes of Ariwa on platforms, they drag the story of they are blackmailing Muslims. I mean, Hamas has done this before. Many terrorist organizations have done it before, where you come to a place and you are terrorizing a people, and the very moment they point at you as terrorists, you want to create the story of how they are blackmailing an entire ethnic group and all of that. Nobody is a victim. The only victims in Nigeria are the people that the Fulani Islamist militia have been killing for over 20 years. And frankly speaking, I will summarize by saying it only takes a terrorist apologist to want to rope in Islam and an entire group in an attempt to defend the terrorist group. And my brother, the fact that you are saying that the North will never accept it is basically a proof as to why terrorism is only on the increase and never on the decrease. The opposition is the same thing that El-Rufai is maintaining. Most of the northern Muslim politicians are maintaining to Matawalle's the NSAs that non-kinetic because they believe that these terrorists are people that should be called and pacified and given what they want. So when they achieve what they want, they locate another place and continue raping women and killing people, and then you call them and give them. The singular fact that you share ethnicity and religion with the terrorist group does not mean you will turn them to the victims and turn the victims to the villains. It can't work anywhere. So if you are on your own on this particular matter, there is a time to kill people and there is a time to pay for it. And frankly speaking, we have moved past the era of killing. Of course, they will keep killing, but definitely justice is coming. But that will come to an end. There is no way you can manipulate people. The world is too advanced for you to basically pick a terrorist organization and begin to speak on its behalf as if they are victims. You can tell me any Christian militia in the Middle Belt, even for the sake of defending the Middle Belt, name one. But the people that have shot down airplanes, the people that have attacked the Defense Academy, the people that have raped women, the people that have sacked different communities, we have been to such communities and we've seen it. So it's important for you to know that. And frankly, I mean, being an apologist for a terrorist organization in the name of religion and ethnicity, it doesn't move anybody anymore. That era is far gone.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf, for your response. So, guys, we got to be very mindful of time, right? So we can carry every other person along with. to one other individual requesting for the mic. So it would be nice for us to give them the opportunity to air their view. And please, if you're not able to come on the speaker section and you have a question, you have a contribution, respectfully, please put it on the comment section. One thing I do not condemn on this platform is name calling. You can disagree with anybody. Just tell us the reason you disagree with them. On that note, I'll pass the mic to Justice. Justice, you have the mic, sir.
Thank you so much, Mindset. Of course, your platform remains about the best when it comes to awakening the Nigerian consciousness. Well, I think I will, just very fairly continue from where Mr. Yusuf stopped. Mindset, there's no gainsaying the fact that we actually live in a country where we have terror apologists amongst us. It's very shameful. It's very, very shameful that a full-grown adult will come on space and say a foreign observer came to a country of particular concern and chose to understudy perhaps the most recent thing that shook the world. It was yellow water mindset. Let's not forget, over 500 killed and burnt in one night. And somebody, I don't want to use very abusive words. This is hard talk. We can actually use curse words. Somebody is here saying, oh, the visit is programmed in such a way. He visited the Middle Belt. Why didn't he go to why did he go to Castina? We're not ashamed, I said, as Nigerians, that we're actually having foreigners not only get into our land, they are not here to talk about business, they are not here to talk about diplomatic ties, strengthening our economic and diplomatic ties. They are not here to foster long-standing relationships. They are not here to probably, bring in investment that will improve our economy. They are here on fact-finding mission of bloodshed, of terrorism. And somebody is saying he visited Zone C. He did not go to Zone A and Zone B so that it will be balanced. Shame on all of you terror apologists on this space. Shame on all of you. That's all I have to say. That's number one. Two, mindset is that, again, shame on our, political leaders, the president, the Senate president, people in high authority. We should be ashamed. If there is something more concerning that particular tag we have now of particular concern, I think Nigeria deserves to be there. It should be a hellhole of major concern. We have a so-called president, a Muslim, who claims that his wife is a pastor. 500 and something people were killed in your country. More than half that number burned beyond recognition. It was not until BTM visited your water that we saw how gory those videos were. People were burned beyond recognition, mass burials. The president actually tried to visit the state, but it ended up in a banquet with the governor of the state. In fact, he had no things. The president said, oh, I can't go to the water because the road is bad. The road into that place is in a terrible situation. And therefore, he did not go. I said, the Senate president that what he's testing in the National Assembly, wanted to, abuse other colleagues, married women and their lives, has not in any circumstance visited any of these places where we have had terror attacks, where Nigerians, regardless of their religion, regardless of their creed, their tribe, have been killed by Islamic fundamentalists. Terror.
All right. Unfortunately, we've lost Mr. Justice. Hopefully, we're not going to have this problem tonight. And somebody, because I've been dropping from this speaker section. Okay. Let me quickly go to Roy.
Can you hear me,
Roy.
myself?
Okay. You dropped a minute and you're back now.
I think it was network. I believe it was network. So I was talking about, we have Islamic fundamentalists that have been killing people. None of our political leaders, no matter how highly placed, have deemed it fit to visit these places. Then a U.S. congressman, in fact, on a fact-finding mission from the president of the U.S., comes and does this thing. This thing they call fact-find. In fact, I'm sure by the time Bradley Moore will go back, probably be puking or be vomiting based on the atrocities he has seen on the ground. I'm sure he has seen those mass graves. And a confused person in this place is saying, oh, well, he should have gone to Borno State. He should have gone to Castina. This hopeless, idiotic approach where, we absorb.
All right, we've lost him again. Let's pass the mic to Roy because of time. Roy, you have the mic, sir.
Thank you, Mike. I think what may be happening with this is that a few people may have blocked him, and so they are throwing him out. Anyway, that's just speculation. Down to the facts. It's quite. I wish a lot of your spaces were recorded mindsets, and I truly, truly wish this one as well was recorded. But here we are trying to dictate to the U.S. and the congressman that came into town to do fact finding, but we are not paying his bills. None of us are paying his bills. Meanwhile, we want to dictate and write his itinerary and what he should do. But who are we to say that? You see, the reason why I said I wish these things were recorded. A few months ago, and sometime down the line, a few Islamic clerics from foreign countries came into town. They took pictures with Nigeria's military, which they call Muslim military, Muslim Air Force. Zaki Nek, I think, was one of them. There was Ibrahim Saleh Al Husseini. There was Rahman Sudais. All of them came. Nobody bothered to take them to IDPs or to show them what Islamic terrorists were doing. Nobody cared. Nobody. Nobody was talking about where things were being killed. They were all celebrating the fact that foreign Islamic clerics were coming into town, riding into town, and they were taking them to places. Just recently, they told many Nigerians to shut up. An Islamic cleric came into town and they were going to give a speech. And Nigeria said, but this is someone who does not regard Christians. It was all there. Everybody was celebrating. They were all celebrating it. It came into town to do what? Not to. We didn't know then that terrorists were killing Muslims and Christians. We didn't. And now, bishops and Nigerian leaders, church leaders, have raised their voice, called out for help. Help that did not come from within, from people we thought were our brothers and our sisters and our fathers and our mothers. Nobody. And so if we're going to get some help, some relief, if not help, from foreigners who are acting more like brothers to us, please stay away. Please stand aside. What a lot of people have shown us is that we do not have the same value for life. It's not the same. When you ask them, that's why I wish we record these spaces. Hansel and Gretel, I think it was
that left crumbs, breadcrumbs along the way. A lot of people have left droppings, a trail of what they've said, a trail of what they've done. When it comes to talking about eradicating, dealing with terrorists, they stand on the side of negotiating with terrorists. And then you wonder, who is this person? When you talk about, Islamic terrorists, they tell you, oh no, you're talking about Fulani. And then you wonder, where's the distinction? What are we talking about here? When you mention your personal experiences, they say, oh, I was also slapped in the face. They are not looking at the fact that you've lost 2 eyes, 2 hands, and no legs, and the whole family is wiped out. Well, we consider foreigners that are many miles away, we consider them more as brothers. They have come, nobody has given them, nobody has dictated anything to them. They have seen what they see. They are interviewing victims, people who have real pain, while we sit in our cool homes to tell them that, oh, there's somebody else on the other side who they should go and see. No, that's not how it's done. Thankfully, they don't work. They don't work. They have these are. We've always looked at them from far to see how they function. They function better than beasts do, while we are exhibiting bestial behavior. Hopefully, that will end soon. I yield.
All right, thank you very much for your submission. I'll pass the mic to Dr. Usman. Dr. Usman, you have the mic.
Good evening, everybody. So this has been a very fascinating discussion. I just want to say that I'm deeply worried about the future of our country. And the reason is simple. We do not have any unified framework for actually analyzing what truth is supposed to be like. What we define as truth is what we think or who is saying it, or from where that person is saying it. The fact that we are too polarized in the country, so much so that we don't even see ourselves as human beings anymore. You look at a fellow human being, you don't think he's human enough, or more than human, because of some ethnic, religious, geographical, historical, ethnographic, call it circumstances. And this is deeply painful. So what I'm here to say is that I'm a northerner, and I grew up in the north. I'm a Muslim, and I have Fulani ancestors, I have Kanuri ancestors. And I'm here to say that I cannot hold a brief for anybody who is killing anybody in the name of anything. Nobody has the right to take the life of anybody in the name of anything. If you're guilty of an offense, that is what the state is designed to do. That's the role of the state to do. You take him to court or her to court, let them follow the process. But on no account, anybody has the right to start killing anybody. I can at least give a history of 30, 35 years back in northern Nigeria. That place was largely peaceful. We used to go to Christian homes, Christmas. They used to eat our food. They escort us to the mosque. We escort them to the church. They to their women. We marry them. Everything was good until something happened to northern Nigeria, and it suddenly became a war zone. Now, the fact that, Rally Moore came and he decided to go to Benue, I do not think anybody has the right to tell an independent third party who's obviously interested in the section of the Nigerian demography, which is the Christians. He didn't even hide it, talking about their own Christian population that they are supporting. He is here to investigate what they call genocide against them. On no account we have the right to tell Rally Moore and his sponsors to come and do federal character with their own fact-finding mission to say if they are taking one enclave, one community of Christians, they will equally have to go and check one community of Muslims. If they go to the south, they have to go to the north. If they go to the west, they have to go to the east. Nobody has the right to tell them that. These people are way, way more advanced than you think they are. I've lived in the West for over 10 years. I've worked with these white people. They are thinking 200 years ahead of what we are thinking in that Africa. So nobody can come and tell me that these people are just ignorant or they don't know what they're talking about. They're dealing with hardcore data. Of course, human beings are biased. Everybody's biased. These guys can convince you with hardcore data what they're investigating is factual. Anybody who think what these people are investigating is not factual, I challenge them. They should bring their own data and present it. You can go to The Hague, you can go to their national institutions that are, designed for that kind of thing. Sponsor somebody with this data, let them go there and present it. We also have Muslim countries who are rich. We have Qatari government that are, engaging with a lot of northern states, trying to help us do one or two things. Let us invite Qatar. Let's invite Saudi Arabia. Let's invite Egypt. Let's invite any Islamic country that could equally come in to come and protect the Islamic northern Muslim interest. Let them come and do their own fact finding. And then we compare notes. But eventually what we see is that we are not going to see a data of Christians and Muslims. We are going to see a data of Nigerians being killed by Nigerians. And these Nigerians, we know where they are. They are Muslims, they are Christians, they are Fulanis, they are Kanuris, they are all sorts of tribes. If there is one particular tribe is creating or is committing a crime, we have to call him by that name. That doesn't mean that the entire tribe is guilty. It's that particular criminal that is guilty. If a Muslim goes about with a bomb to go and kill somebody in the name of Islam, I'm a Muslim. That person is not killing anybody in my name. He's a plain criminal, and he should be punished for that. If my own tribal Fulani person goes about with a gun to kill anybody, he's a criminal, and he's not represented. That's how we are going to look at this. But anything short of this, we're here to that is how Boko Haram started. When Boko Haram started, people think, oh no, they are part of us. Oh no, we shouldn't attack them until they became a serious danger. And we're playing with this. This thing is going to consume everybody. Let's forget about this name calling. Whoever is responsible for killing anybody, let them be. In closing, what somebody was the main thing that created the international headline. I don't see any crime if anybody comes to Nigeria as an independent verifier to go to where they go and verify. If you think something is happening in Maiduguri, cry out. Somebody else is also going to come and investigate that.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Guzman, for your response and your submission. Ariwa, you have raised your hand quickly so I can pass the mic to the new speakers.
Myself, I wanted responding to some of the things that were said. If I get $1 for each time they call me a terrorist sympathizer or a terrorist, I think I'll be a multi-billionaire now. Because a lot of people's mentality is that everybody who is a northerner or a Muslim or a Fulani is automatically a terrorist. Mr. Yusuf made mention of something about civilization. I think we have an entire constitution that protects people and give them freedom of movement and free will. But some people are hell-bent on telling northerners how to live their life. That's exactly what Yusuf is doing. By trying to tell people to abandon their way of life or their culture and just come up and be civilized like him because he believes that they are not civilized. That is his own terms. And Mr. Usman made reference of us not telling them what they should do. Of course, when you look at the tweet that is put there, that Riley Moore made, he said genocidal Fulani. That is instigating on an entire tribe, an entire people. So he has brought these people into this conversation. And by extension, he needs to understand their own angle as well. Because if they say they have victims, then an extension of his courtesy should go to them. If you could have just came and started searching for the perpetrators of the people that carried out what happened is different. Or he is instigating and marginalizing an entire tribe by referring to them as genocidal Fulanis. So of course we're asking questions because he's not specific about what he is doing. By every means, we have the right to counter this thing. And everybody know Northerners are this, Northerners are that, Islamic extremists, blah. If truly there's this challenge of Islamization in Nigeria, I think we wouldn't be arguing by now. It could have come to light. It's either it has been achieved or not, it has been scattered. But we keep on saying this thing, but people who don't even have an idea what is happening in the north, don't have an idea what the daily reality of northerner, they are insisting on telling you how to live your life. They are in fact telling you your own story to your face. So this is why I say that they are not here to help anybody. If this is the approach at which they are coming, they are not here to help anybody. And this is the stance of many northerners. Because we have reason to be worried. Something is building right in front of us, and we will not allow it to escalate before we come to terms with the reality that look, these guys are carefully strategizing to ambush us at the least time we expect in the guise of something that is not happening, just to have a reason to carry out the atrocities that they want to carry. So if you want to help Nigeria, there are ways you can go about it. We have an existing government in Nigeria. It's not we are not in a banana republic. We have an existing government in Nigeria. We have a channel of communication. We have leaders. Even if we are not supporting them, we have an existing government that has been our democracy has been going on for quite a while now, from 1999 to date. So you can't just come and tell us to jettison everything and just hear what you are saying when you are just coming in today and you went to Benue and you want to tell us what you are facing. You didn't even come to hear our own side of the story. What data are you? Why are people overestimating the collection of data of America? What data have they collected from Northerners? What did they ask Northerners that they give them the answer? Who have they interviewed directly, just the way he did now? And people are acting like this, the Alpha and Omega, and Mr. Yusuf was also making reference to Hamas that they kill people that are invaded. So you see, this is the kind of mentality that we are not going anywhere, and we will keep going around this cycle because I'm going to tell everybody on this platform for free that no Northerner is backing down. So if this is going to be an endless cycle that will continue for another generation, so be it until the last of us. But we will stand by the truth that this approach is not correct and is not right, and what they are saying is not true. What we are facing in Nigeria is a security problem that affects every Nigerian that is being sponsored by people from the country he is coming from. So we are not stupid. We know what we are doing. Nobody will come and take us for granted. So we will stand by what we are saying. I yield.
All right, thank you, Ari, for your submission. Mr. Black, you have the mic, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy and glad that after listening to Aria now shifted from collaboration to whatever it is. Well, I mean, let us I'll give a history. I want to give us a history of how we got to where we are. In April 2018, I was in the United States, and we held discussions. As at 2018, let's not forget the Republicans were in government in the United States. We held a conference, and there were presentations by Nigerian Americans, not Nigerians in Nigeria, and most of them were Northerners. northern, and it was scary what they were presenting. Then I came back. When I came back that same April, by May 30th, Heritage Foundation invited us. If you go through our registration with the International Organization for Peace Building and Social Justice, you will see it's 2018. So, Heritage Foundation invited us again in April 2018 and presented information and data about killings we didn't know about. What happened in Goza? What happened in Chibok? What happened in what do you call it, in Benue? And what has been happening in Miongo? These were not things we were particularly concerned about. I mean, every Nigerian goes about his business. And on seeing this, of course, we interact with the US government on the basis of as individuals. You have to be properly organized. Therefore, thereafter, we started putting data together. And I want to tell you, there is no Jupiter under the sun that will tell you anybody goes to the field on daily basis. Data in this nation, we have been harvesting data from police sources, government sources, Nigerian media and international media. Please go to our data tome page and you will see our source. If there are 15 deaths today, as reported by the Nigerian police, I will give you the peak as reported by the Nigerian police, as reported by. So it's not a question of it's wrong data. Now, I mentioned something about learning herders being, seasonal migrants, and nobody can stop that. Well, in one of the discussions we held, this was now in 2020, we raised this issue that we cannot stop them, it cannot be done. And do you know what a US congressman asked? He said, then are we stupid to have cowboys here? What are cowboys? Can anybody among you tell me what a cowboy is? They are herders. They are herders. So if herders in that community or that part of the world can come together and then rear cattle without destruction of life and property, without communities, I think that is what Ari has been saying, that we are encouraging archaic things. Things have changed. People have moved on. In fact, in Ghana today, you order drugs from a pharmacy to be delivered to you by drone. So things have changed. Let's not look at things as it was. Then I kept on saying, we Northerners. I'm from Kano. I'm a Northerner. Go to Rogu. Go to anywhere. You are going to find other Northerners like me. We are not Muslims. Are you grouping us together? We want to be free. We want these killings to stop. So if Congressman Moore didn't go to Katsina, Sokoto, Gusau, Zamfara to talk to the victims or to check to persons to talk to victims there or find out things himself. My brother, we started as far back as 20. We didn't start today. It's not a today's thing. So you have the opportunity of starting today. And probably when you start today, somebody else will hear you. I use my message.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Baiki, for your submission. Before I pass the mic, Mr. Yusuf, I can see you raising your hand. I want to pass the mic to Budget, but before I do that. Budget, still remember that I promised you the silence slot. Say you have not seen it. Please, on the jumbotron, please. I would like you to go through it. And it would help. What Mr. Baiki have said when they started in 2018, because a lot of people believe that this just happened overnight. And I've heard people talk about say that the reason this is because some individuals like Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In 2018, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not the president of Nigeria. So I would like you to go through it. But you have the main project. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, this issue that we have also been talking on of insecurity across this country, we didn't start it. Neither did we even start it before even APC came into power. Something we have been saying since the early 2000s on what is happening and the killings of people and how we're losing grasp on our security architecture. And if you look at the situation, people come here and try to paint America as they are going to be the beacon of morality, and it's really laughable because if you have read your history and you are actually in tune with what is happening across the world, that is, America is the last country you are going to come here to paint to us that they are going to keep guard of our reality. Then that being said, now if you're going to play the moral judge of what is happening in Nigeria, we are not fools here, and I'm sure none of you that is currently, seeing all these issues of Christian genocide is a fool. Because if you go to the court of law today, you are going to listen to both sides. If the judge should listen to one side and does not listen to the other side, then you will definitely call the judge biased. You will definitely, criticize the judge. So I don't know why you are coming here to push anything otherwise. Because if they are the ones putting themselves, at the position of they are the moral judge of Nigeria. That's not so. Then someone is coming here to say, oh, he's speaking from part of humanity. Humanity, is that right? Humanity is supposed to stand on every human life. And in Nigeria, we have human lives. It does not matter the religion or the region. They don't care about human lives. In a Bible or a Quran to do this. They don't care. They do. Nigerian government and Nigerians are getting killed. But they don't care. From the onset, this has always been an agenda against Islam and Muslims. And if you're aware of the, the things they have been doing, the policies on the of Nigeria are a bit more from what they are pushing want. What Riley Moore said in Nigeria is just, this using the Nigerian government to get what they said. The US is really interested in their not about Nigeria or Nigeria. They have told Nigeria, serious Nigeria, we as a people must have our own interests as a people, as a country. We cannot be doing one because someone came here to discuss the white country, the white center. If you have decided to be a house member, a white man, we Africans that have high understanding what we need to do to improve ourselves and stand as a continent and as a country, Nigeria, as in terms of affairs on the world stage. I'm not going to take you white men to come and be what our problem is and how to run that. Then I also went on to talk because in case you came here and say, oh, we are doing this and that, we are just a position. And go, if you don't my field, you can see. This is something that I've seen on decades for me.
All right. It appears we've lost him. We've lost budget, right?
Yes, it dropped.
It dropped. Okay. Even when he was speaking, it would appear that his line is not clear. So I'm not sure why that is. But my cousin Sam, please, if you're able to see him, go on because we'd like to give him the opportunity to air his view. Because I do have a question for him, but I would like to be on the platform when I will ask that question as well. Mr. Yusuf, you have the mic.
Yeah. So I think the question what
Me, I just requested and I'm back.
Okay, just hold your thought for a minute, please. Mr. Budget, and just hold your thought for a minute. So, Mr. Yusuf, Mike, I'm just going to ask him like, if he's able to allow you to continue. Mr. Yusuf, please, do you mind if Mr. Budget continues? Pass the mic back to you.
Let him finish up.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Budget, you have the mic.
All right, and thank you. You see, the main thing is we don't just come and say this is our issue. And there are those of us across this country, that are standing and looking for permanent solutions to our insecurity issue. We have worked and gotten a security architecture for this country that will guarantee the security of every single Nigerian, not just a Christian or a Muslim or a Yoruba or a Hausa. As long as you're a Nigerian, the territorial integrity of this country, we have worked on that. I know what I had to go through and what others had to go through to make that happen. So if you can't just come and be telling us this, at the end of the day, you are expecting a white man to come and save you. You cannot save yourself. What an insolent, kind of mindset that you people are having. And earlier I was speaking, like you said, I called a few religious leaders that are speaking against the terrorism in the north. If you want me to start calling a lot of them, will not leave this place as it is time conscious. Then you further went on to try and bring the Azizaki issue because when we are talking of terrorism and all that, the Azizaki issue was against the Nigerian military. So do not talk like us that are aware of our security architecture and the problem that is happening. We don't know what is happening, but we just want to push anything that the white man has told you to push, or it's the narrative of the white man. No, we will not take that as Africans and as Nigerians that want to liberate ourselves and build a strong nation that will stand and face even the America of today. Do they have 2 heads or do they have 3 heads? What do they have that makes them more special than us as a people? The only reason I've been here is because my professor had the question. I had to push out all my schedule just to listen to that question. And I'm still expecting that question myself, so that let's get this over with, because what needs to be said has been said. Anybody that wants to be ignorant of the reality can continue to be ignorant. As it is said, you cannot wake those who pretend to be sleeping, but those who are truly sleeping, we are going to wake them up, make them understand their reality, so that we can unite and save ourselves in this country. And if you don't know the security structure, I can put it on the jumbotron so that you can look and we can have a conversation on that. But do not come and claim things that are not true, because those claims are just for your own personal selfish interest, and it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help Nigeria. It doesn't help Nigerians. And you can just imagine that these are the youth that you are expecting to be the people that will save and take the mantle of the leadership across this country and take Nigeria to greater heights. These are the people that are coming here to push such nonsense. It is unfortunate, really very unfortunate, and very disheartening for that matter. I will rest here myself. But if you have that question, please, I would like to hear it, because you said that about an hour ago, and I've been waiting to hear that question myself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Budget, for your submission. So, before I pass the mic to the next speaker, there's this thing that we do to ourselves, and that we dislike the white man. We can do everything by ourselves. It's a good thing if we're able to do this. But then again, here lies the problem. These some white people we dislike, think we don't need them. I think that when we need money, need to borrow money, we go to the white man. Can't we just solve our problem by ourselves? Why do we need to go to the white man for aid? Why do we need to go to the white man for this? But when it comes to issues that affect us, then we think that it doesn't sit well with us. Then we realize the white man is evil, right? Now, if we're looking for loans, we go to the white man and say we need loans, right? We don't go to any African country. We have South Africa, we have Rwanda, we have other African countries. We don't go to these people. But we go to these same white people that we think that they don't mean well for us, right? I wanted you to respond to that. Why do we go to the white man that that they are not there to help us for loan, for aid, but we cannot call them in when it comes to insecurity in our country? Budget, if you don't mind responding to that.
Yeah, thank you for that question, myself. It is unfortunate that, if you listen to me earlier, my submission, the problem we have in Nigeria is leadership and ignorance. Leadership, why? Because we have everything God has given us under our feet. We march currently every day. that we can use to build a nation. Natural resources, human resources, everything, we have it. Unfortunately, we don't have leaders that are ready to utilize that. And they decide to go and take loans, or you hear the US will tell you they have sent aid to this, to that, to that. How much amounts of aid are they sending compared to what they are looting or resources that they are taking on a daily basis? And I'm not saying that we don't need them. We can have collaborations, we can work together, but not on an exploitative manner. Not the way they have been doing it, not the way they did to our ancestors. The times are changing and the wind of change is coming. And whether you take that bridge and you follow those that are ready for that change across Africa, it is left to you. But we are not going to take how our ancestors were treated, how they were exploited. If the West wants to work with Africa, then they must work in collaboration, not as any African country or any African as their slave. That is our stand. Thank you, myself.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to believe that if we reject anything about these people, we reject everything, right? That would be my position. If I say I don't want to do anything with anybody, I reject everything from them. Not when it involves me, then I would decide to get this thing from them and try to collaborate with them because it would favor me. But when it would appear that I think, okay, this thing will not favor me, so I'm not going to collaborate. If we're going to say to ourselves, if we do not want to collaborate with the white man, we don't want them. We got to figure it out for ourselves. Let's not collaborate with them, not when it favors us. But because of time, I'm going to allow because I'm not sure who was okay. Mr. Yusuf, you have the mic. This is the mic for we have new speakers as well.
All right, thank you, Mindset. I don't know whether he has left, whether he has left. I noticed he was making reference to young people that should be leaders of tomorrow. I don't exactly know where he has placed himself. He was basically the person he's speaking to is below the radar. And talking about an understanding of the security situation in the country, you cannot be more knowledgeable than the victim of the genocide. You can deny it, you can claim whatever you want to claim, but the notion that you can craftily use the idea of patriotism to suppress an Islamist invasion and massacre, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't appeal to common sense. Mindset, we are a people that, we have watched these massacres. We've watched how a group goes to the community and kills hundreds. We have watched how a group gets armed. We have watched how a group has tested the resolve of the Nigerian military in different fronts. And then you have people that will come out and tell you, we will never accept, we will. So when you make reference to we, are you owning up to the people that have been massacring people in the middle belt? What exactly are you talking about? Because you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. An example is the terrorist organization we know as Allah will tell you that they are not behind killings in the middle belt. But when they massacre communities, and then finally during Buhari, when they kill people, they want to force the community to sit down and make peace. And then you look at the other end of the table, you will find Miete Allah sitting, demanding free land for grazing. So you can't tell that people want to leave their culture. That I'm not forcing anybody to adopt a different culture. Any form of civilization that has to do with raping women, killing hundreds of people, and owning guns instead of using the money to buy land and be responsible for your own property, be responsible for catering for your things. You want to be a parasite on the commonwealth of other people by buying guns, killing them, and raping their women, and believing that is your way of spreading your religion. And then when justice comes, you want to claim that for the sake of Islam, for the sake of your ethnicity, you will fight and defend it. Then it's okay. You own up to them. So when we refer to you as a terrorist apologist, you should accept it. When you tell people that you will never accept, because the business is to put an end to eliminate the terrorist, and somebody wakes up and tells you, we will never accept it, we will stand our ground. So then you will embrace the terrorist, and we know exactly who we're dealing with. But you can't be doing things at the same time. So the story of bringing the issue of patriotism, we know it has nothing to do with patriotism to the Nigerian state. It is strictly a solidarity with these Islamists, simply because you either share religion or ethnicity with them. That basically is it. The problem you are having is that while you are consumed with your expansionist agenda, an example is a typical typical example of how people like Arewa reason is the case of Samuel Jackson, where somebody, a grown man, will carry a knife and attack another person on his farm. Somebody is farming, you attack him on his farm, he fights, sustains injury, overpowers you, neutralizes you, and then the judiciary decides to punish you for refusing to get killed by an Islamist. So that is basically the mentality we are dealing with, because the whole idea is that he should have either killed you or you should have just run away because he's a normal and that is his lifestyle. We can't embrace barbarism in this present day. It doesn't work anywhere in the world. Simply because Nigeria made the mistake of adopting the nomadic lifestyle at some point, it will have to be expunged at some point. The simple reason is because it is not only costing Nigeria economically, it is costing tens and hundreds of thousands of lives. These terrorists keep raping women, they keep sacking communities. And then you find people who will sit down and claim they are security experts or government functionaries or whatsoever, trying to defend them. I mean, somebody was saying, mindset should ask him a question, you would have left. I'm not mindset, but I would have just told you, please take your leave. It's not exactly as if you are the best security expert on this platform, or you are the oldest person, or whatsoever. I mean, so it's a painful scenario to have a country where terrorism has grown so old that it is being mainstreamed by people, and they believe that they can use ethnicity and religion as a cloak to become spokespersons for terrorists. It doesn't add up. Basically, terrorism is terrorism. And by whatever means, there is no measure of intellectuality that will come that will change it. At some point, it will come to an end, because when it becomes obvious that what you are doing, the existence of a particular race that you have been killing in hundreds, in thousands, women you've been raping, communities you've been sacking, and then you come to social media, you come to mainstream media, you go to international platforms to claim that the killers are the victims, while the people you are killing are the villains. A day will come when it becomes obvious that you want to end their lives, and they may feel the need to defend themselves. And I think that's where usually the problem comes. So let us find a way to either you come out and own up that you are a spokesperson for the terrorist group, but you can't have it both ways. Basically, that's all I want to say.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. As you guys know, everybody have the right, to speak on this platform. And if somebody feels that they want to take their leave, I mean, they have the right to take their leave. I cannot tell anybody not to leave the platform. The platform was not for any particular individual, right? So allow people, he aired his view and he decided to leave the platform for the time being. Perhaps he had other things that he has to do. Nobody dropped him because I know people like to run agenda, or he has been dropped. And I've got a message at my DM. Why don't we have more persons from the north? I mean, I'm hosting the spaces. I've got a co-host. I'm very, very happy to actually, you know what? Let me make Harry a co-host before we round up. So if he's able to bring any other person who would like to be part of the conversation. I do not choose people who will speak as long as we're able to come up, respect the platform and the rules of the platform. You have every right to speak. You're a woman, so we must give you the opportunity to speak. And Mr. Bike, you have the mic, then I'll put Dr. Brock.
Thank you very much, man. It's a pity that budget has dropped, but I think Zari has done some justice to what budget insinuated. I mean, I can't serve the army for 27 years, and I'm in retirement for 24 years, and then I'm a kid or I'm a youth. That is an insult. But the fact that you don't know doesn't mean you should just assume. Assumption is the most dangerous thing a human being can do. Now, this issue is very, very clear. I can say it without missing words, and I've been saying it. High, top-ranking Northerners have called me and said, Muhammadu Abdullah, when did you do this? How come you got yourself involved in this? I said, look, it's been on. It didn't start today. I will tell you now, people are equally asking us to start work on the Muslim genocide in the north. But then, there's an issue. You have to hear from the victims. And now for the few victims we've heard from, in Katsina. We presented it to in the north and said, look, these are the victims, these are videos, these are things listen to them. And of course, we are pointing in one direction. I'm telling you, this is ongoing. We are pointing in one direction, Fulani. And of course, don't tell them, don't ask them this question, don't ask them that question. So we are not ready. The same northerners are not ready to help this situation. That's the truth. If you doubt, I can send you the videos. You personally, I will send you the videos. You see how I'll clear from the organization. You see how some people telling you who their killers are. So we're not ready. So the people that are ready, which we worked as far back as 20, that they work on them, are presented. So don't think don't think nothing is happening in the north. And then when you say Riley Moore didn't go, look, I tell you they were in Goza, and they didn't cross about 2 hours because these are facts. They went as far as Goza, and a group led by Samantha went into the Cameroons, where about 1,000 Gozans are IDPs in another because that country now is seeking for aid. That Cameroon is seeking for aid from the United Nations because they are now refugees. They are not IDPs. The moment you cross your border, a refugee, 91,000 people of one ethnic group of one religion. So they were there. They came at least to southern border. So I don't think they didn't go anywhere. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Abaiki, for your submission. I would have loved a situation whereby people wait for the reports before they jump the gun. I think we've been on this particular topic for almost 2 months now, and quite a number of persons would always ask questions, why are we continuing to talk about this? I have my reasons why I focus on this, because for Nigerians, we are very quick to move on from things, and sometimes, when this thing started, I keep saying it, that you cannot fight this thing with propaganda. And I mentioned some of the things that the spokesperson of the presidency did wrong, right? And I knew from day one, and I keep saying it to those who care to listen, that this is not over. They thought it was name callings and it would die. And I concentrated on it. There's another topic that's happening, but this is a little bit boring, something. But I concentrated on it because I knew that it is not over yet. Now, we're just trying to wait before we say we have not visited these places. I don't want to say mindset said. I want you guys to see for yourself. Then you can now go back and ask, say, okay, they were not only born in Benue State, they were not only these places, these are the things that they did. Let it come from them, not what mindset said. Mindset is not nothing about this thing. I'm just a novice, I'm just a normal person with you guys on this platform. But there is something Mr. Pike said I think I need to address. You see, the fact that we're on this platform, some of us are much, much older, right? And somebody made reference the other day that why do I address even young people as sir? That's how I choose to do things. I'm a professional, right? I like to do things. So calling somebody sir does not mean that the person is older than me, right? Those things does not mean that some of you guys are older than me. I don't know how many people who are older than myself. Please, let's respect people. Not every one of us are youths. Hence, the other day I had this platform and I asked who is a youth, what age bracket is a youth? Let me know whether I'm a youth or not. And some of us, we are older than who, the way you guys would address us. Okay, it's very, very important. I call you sir because out of respect, that is how I address people professionally. That does not mean that you're older than myself. Please, let's respect people's opinion and let's respect people's age and, know that we are not all the same age brackets, because I want us to put it out there. But thank you guys. It's been a very interesting conversation. Dr. Croc, you have the
mic. All right. Even your good morning to depend on where you're watching. Zari is Arewa Abdullah Baiki. Yeah, Rowan. I've been listening. I want to address the issue of the
All right. So unfortunately, we've lost Dr. Crook. Those on the speaker section, those on the speaker section, do you guys have any other thing to add? Those on the speaker section, do we have any other things to add based on the topic we're dealing with? Do you have any question? Okay, Mr. Yusuf, please go ahead.
Okay, so what I just want to say is there is a serious danger Nigeria is slipping into. It's just an observation. At first, it was Nigerians facing the threat of Islamist militia, especially at the onset of Boko Haram, and then the fear that came when splinter groups from Boko Haram began swearing allegiance to international terrorist organization. So, but then there is hardly any of the Islamist groups that is not linked to international funding now, especially looking at the history of their, weaponry. But then the problem I want to observe that is more dangerous now is the seeming sympathy that this Islamist group tend to enjoy amongst the civilian population. First, with the very moment the notion of we are going to eliminate terrorists came, there was a protest in Kano. Okay, even led by Shiites that you would have thought would have capitalized on what was happening to claim it is not only Christians because they killed over thousands of area. Like you said, it looks as if for the hatred of America, for the hatred of anything Christian, we are willing to embrace terrorism with the fact that we either share religion or ethnicity with them. That blurry line is what makes it far more dangerous in Nigeria. So the observation is simple. If we are tilting in that direction, where basically religious and ethnic solidarity trumps our patriotism, and then we are willing to settle with evil, then I would hope that at some point in time, not too long from now, Nigerians will be able to sit on the table. And now this time around, it's not about whether we will eliminate terrorists or not, but we will get to renegotiate our existence if we have to proceed as a single entity. Because I can't drive my culture or my religion on the blood of innocent people. That basically is what I want to observe. Finally, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. Then we have Secret Hawkage. I hope I pronounced the name properly.
Okay. I'm back.
Hold your thought for a minute, sir. Let me. Okay. All right. You have the mic. Please let me tell you guys, for those who have just joined, if I'm speaking or somebody's speaking and you want to respond, please kindly raise your mind. Raise your hand, then we'll pass the mic. It's not nice when somebody's speaking and we interject or interrupt. Please, it's very, very important. Now, I was going to pass the mic to Secret Hawkage, but it's no longer here. Dr. Crook, you have the mic.
All right, thank you. Sorry for interrupting you. This issue of headers, I've been thinking about it.
Sorry.
It's sad because someone mic is on. I don't know who. All right, okay. So we have Ethiopia, for example, has 19 million cattle and 70 million. We have up to 300 million cattle. In India, South Africa has at least 18 million. Kenya, the same thing. If you go to Tanzania, you see them with at least nothing less than 24 million cattle. Somebody can check all these figures I'm giving. All these are countries in Africa with a large amount of cattle head and countries around the world. And mind you, we have 210 countries around the world. But can anyone mention one single country where they are having headers farmers clashes? I'm just using the vocabulary too. Not that what is happening in Nigeria is headers farmers clashes, but can anyone point one single country with large cattle that they are having problem between the farmers and the headers the way it's happening in Nigeria? Just one. There isn't. And the case in Nigeria is very special. I saw a lady made a video saying, oh, the Fulani people in Nigeria are being marginalized, or they are being neglected. That's why they take arms and all that. And I say, these people, they are trouble in Nigeria, they are trouble in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Chad, in South Africa, all over West Africa. One ethnic group causing problem everywhere. So it's not just a Nigerian issue, it's far around the region. So the issue of open grazing, we have to find a way to reform it, because it's not just affecting the farmers and the sedentary communities, it's also affecting the Fulani themselves. It's affecting them. And insisting that such culture must be preserved is counterproductive, because there are diseases like the Rinda pest, for example, that ravaged West Africa and even down to Southern Africa in the 1890s. Destroy
All right. So unfortunately, we've lost Dr. Crook again. Let's pass the mic to Secret. Okay, you have the mic. Good evening. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, earlier on, I would love to address some issues, actually. When I first joined the space, I had one mindset you were explaining, you won't close eye and what's this called and deny any sad reality. This Christian said in Nigeria, and you also it has never there isn't no Christian genocide. You are just being what's this called. So can I ask a sincere question? Little people have been massacred down along Zamfara, Sokoto. Not really people in Moxes. Moxes have been burnt. And are we going to call that genocide? Or are we going to call that mass murder? Secondly,
am I to respond?
Okay, you can, yeah, sure.
Okay, people have been massacred in Zamfara State, in Zamfara, and which other state do you mention, sir?
Sokoto, Borno, which were Muslim. Are we to call that murder or genocide?
By who? Who committed the crime?
Fulani headsmen, the Fulani bandits.
So if you want to tell me the Fulani bandits committing genocide against Muslims, that's what you call it genocide. So the most important thing here is you need to find out who committed the crime. So if you're saying to us on this platform now that those who were killed in Zamfara State, and those who were killed in Sokoto State, we are killed by. Sorry, sir. Sorry, okay, please permit me to. All right. Okay. Now you're telling us now that those who were killed in Zamfara State and Sokoto State were killed by Fulanis, right? You're not saying it. You are the one saying it, right? Okay, that's fine. So I mean, I can say that a genocide, a Muslim genocide by Fulani. Yeah, I can say that if we are going by what you said. Yes, I would say that. Yeah, because the most important thing that you pointed out who did these things. So saying the same way those in Benue State pointed out that they are being killed by these individuals. Yeah.
Can I continue?
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. And lately, there was a murder at Jos, precisely by, I think, the Birom youth around Panshin local government. Is there? Well, the information is still there completely and stuff like that. So, well, individuals like Zaria, Baiki, did they ever advocated for such that, okay, call on the attention of the world that stuff like this are happening? Me, as a what is called, as a Hausa man, also as a Fulani man, when I see the narrative being pushed, there's a Fulani genocide, and okay, we need the foreign forces to come and aid and stuff like that. All I see and all I place myself is, man, these people are just coming towards us because shoot me down. Me that doesn't know even what's going on. Me that have also been a victim to all this stuff. My cousins has been killed. People I know have been killed. Family, friends. They've also been part of this genocide. How do you expect me to process the ideology whenever I go and I even see the US Congressman posting Fulani militias or Fulani genocide or Islamic genocide, which I found myself to be Fulani, a Muslim, and I've never lift up even what is called a knife. How do you expect me to process this stuff? First, yes, it's true. The way our story are being told, they are not being told correctly. When he was here, has he been to Zamfara? Has he been to Sokoto? Has he been to Kaduna? You should go and ask the family of victims, how did this stuff happen? How did they transpire? In as much as, even on the comment section, I saw some people saying, no, no Christian community has ever done any harm upon any Muslim individuals or stuff like that. Lately, students of ABU's area were traveling with their buses, written with partial ethnic Arabic design. They were all murdered at just space like this where we're not open for such stuff. In as much as, yeah, we have our own side, we have our own fault for not raising alarms for such stuff. But at least the first thing we should put forth is humanity. Humanity not being what is selfish and self-centered. Humanity first before anything. I won't deny the fact that, yeah, Fulani, there are Fulani bandits and Fulani people killing, but don't generalize us. Make give the full insight. As long as they're killing Christians, these Christian journalists, they're killing Christians, they are also killing me. Just when you want to say the story, say it in the reality. Say it that was it called? It's a genocide. It's a general genocide committed by these individuals. I won't deny the fact. But when you cited it and paint the story in another form, it hurts me. That's just the sad reality. It hurts me. I might travel, go, all I currently going on in my head. When I travel, go home, or what's it called? Being, we do rear farm cows, cattle, and rams and goats. What is it called? Currently, I'm still doing the business. But some of us are currently doing it in the ranches. So, do you think when soldiers are being given orders down from the US, come to Nigeria, strike a strategic location, stuff like that, do you think we are going to be spared? We have nothing to do with all these wars. We are also victims. We were kidnapped. Our women were raped. Take a look at Christina. I know so there's a driver currently at Abuja. A friend of mine, there is a driver currently at Abuja driving at ICC. They had over 200 cattle. But when these bandits came, they took away the cattle, took away the entire ladies and everything. But no one told these stories like this. And everyone is saying like, no, okay, this Fulani bandit are only going after Christian and Christian communities and burning down churches. Say the story the way it is. We are victims too. In as much as these people don't really care the tongue was it or the language you speak, your mode of dressing, know your religion. Okay, someone like Zarian Baiki, you are from Arewa. I know you have idea what it called, what's currently going on more than those from the south that have never been in the north, and those also painting this narrative. You know how many categories of Fulani are currently in Nigeria. Have you ever addressed this issue? Have you ever tried to enlighten people that there are over 50 categories of Fulani? And if you don't fall under this such category, you are gonna by these individuals, by these ones currently committing these atrocities. There are those that fall under the headsman category. And some fell under this bandits category. Check the bandit activities. Do they even look like us? And 80% of those from even the south, they are just having this narrative that once you're an Arewa, you're a northerner, you are fair, you're a Fulani man. No, I'm asking people, come and show me or come and prove it. If the previous king of Kano, Ado Bayero, prove it to me if he's Fulani. His grandmom is Fulani, but what was it called? His dad is Hausa. He's also Fulani partially. So whenever they want to paint the narrative, the world comes and just paints it Fulani directly or stuff like that. The sad reality is you can't what is it called, separate. We've already mixed through intermarriage and other cultural activities. You can't even differentiate in northern Nigeria who is Hausa, who is Fulani, who is Hausa Fulani. But today, when I go to media, at some point, the media, especially it was too toxic for me. I sat down, I was asking myself, am I safe? There are places I go now, even at workplace. As a Muslim, I don't feel safe. So some certain set of people are currently carrying out murderous activities, and you expect How do you expect me to feel? I'm not part of them. I never supported. Even when they were advocating what is called saying stuff, I advocated that anyone that advocated for this bandit, they should not, whenever a bandit is caught, they shouldn't give these people what is called a chance or prison or trial or stuff like that. They should just be condemned and nothing like diplomatic approach to them anymore. If they tried, it didn't work, and it will never work. So as long as you're a bandit, they should just take you out. They should take you out. But they feel sorry, I know I'm taking a lot of time, but so many people feel as a House of Fulani, I'm just a terrorist sympathizer. I'm a terrorist. I went to a certain building, I prayed, they locked immediately I stepped out, they locked the building with annoyance and stuff. I was like, an empty building just because I'm a Muslim. Nigeria is almost safe for me. Imagine if this is happening down in the northern part of Nigeria. How I don't even see me living a day in the southern part of Nigeria as a was it called, as a Hausa Fulani and as a Muslim. I won't survive a day. I don't see myself what was it called, all because of all these narratives that are being painted in wrong, that are being that are being our stories that are being told in wrong narratives. Yeah, Christians have been killed. Christians have been slaughtered. Their churches have been burned down or stuff like that. So do Marxists. So in the first place, when the ideology of
sorry, Mr. Sorry, can you mute your mic because it appears the same thing you repeated it 4 times. So if you have any new thing that you want to tell us, because the same thing you keep repeating yourself, and we've had you already, right? If there's something else you want to say, you say it, and you keep repeating the same thing, keep repeating it. Understand? I do not want to feel like one is not giving you the opportunity to say what you need to say. Now, because of your submission, you said a lot of things and you contradicted yourself. I'll tell you why you contradicted yourself, because you started by saying, "I said you said it," hence I wanted to respond to you now. Okay, who are doing this killing? You agree that it's done by Fulanis, and you're saying the same Fulanis. This is your word, not mine, that killed people in Zamfara State, that kills people in Sokoto State, right? Are the same persons that kill people in Benue State. So why are we not calling it? Why are we not saying the Christians are being killed, Muslims are being killed? The Christian decided to amplify that they are being killed. It is your responsibility to tell your story. It is your responsibility to get your people together and say, we are being killed. In this and so month in Zamfara State, 2 persons lost their life by this same Fulani. This is not my word, please. It's your word. You said it, the Fulanis that did this, right? Nobody's going to do that on this platform. You want to come on this platform and say, in so and so place, Fulanis killed people. Nobody's going to stop you and say, Mr. Secret Cocker, sorry, Mr. Secret, let me call you Secret. Don't say anything about it, right? So you cannot blame those who amplify their own story. You cannot say they shouldn't say it. It is not their responsibility to come and cry for you. No. If you believe that your people are being killed by these Fulanis, use amplify it, get your people together, do the same thing. You can get some imams or you can get some religious leaders, like the same way the Catholic bishop from Makodi did, and the same way Mr. Baiki did. They started this in 2018. So you don't say because they are being killed and everything, these people should not speak about it. I don't think that's right. So you speak up, come on the platform, tell people that your people are being killed. Right, guys, we're gonna round up quickly. It's 9 minutes past 1. I was hoping that we close by 1 o'clock, but I wanted to allow Mr. Sekri to speak. So we're just gonna round up quickly. So whoever that is speaking next will be very, very mindful of time, so we can round up and come out some other time. Master, if you have the mic.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, thank you. All right, so I just really want to make my final submission, and it's just I say the misconception whenever we talk about insecurity and terrorism in Nigeria. You know, when we criticize these groups, we're not criticizing it because we're trying to call out any region or any religion. We're trying to call out terrorists. And when we talk about what is going on in Nigeria, we cannot say, oh, we don't have terrorists that have Islamic ideologies. No. If we say that, we're lying. Also, and I'm also happy that you are also Fulani and you admitted the fact that yeah, there are some Fulani, and even in your own words, they are not Nigerians, right? If I get you or I got you correctly. So what we're going to do is we are going to come together as a group to call them out. And as we're calling them out, to also put our government in check and let them do what they were voted to do. Because all these things coming here to say, oh, people are looking at you like this, I do understand. I do understand. And at the same time, when you put it that way, it rubs people off the wrong way because it's like, are you trying to protect, these people? Okay, because an ongoing theme on Twitter, and that's an ongoing theme in Nigeria, where people want to protect their own terrorists. They are so quick to call out terrorists in other regions, but when it comes to their own, they try to use religion to shield these people. Most victims of these groups are Muslims themselves. We know this. But right now, our focus is on stopping extremism in Nigeria. And I'm sure Mindset is not here to blame any faith, any group. So please, guys, let's keep doing what we're doing. Let's keep speaking out, no matter the slighting or no matter the ups and God, because what we want is a peaceful Nigeria. Thank you so much, Mindset. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Blake, please go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, Mindset. That what no one ethnic group in the world that is known as House of Fulani. It's either you are Hausa or you are Fulani. Period. There is no one single set known as House of Fulani. I repeat, it is either you are Hausa or you are Fulani. I am Hausa, and you cannot designate me as a Fulani. So please correct that. In addition, there are Fulani Christians. You can't deny that. Just as there are Fulani Muslims. But you can never ever see or never find a Fulani Christian being involved in massacre. No way. So you see, the ideology that is pushing the Fulani Muslims to carry out these atrocities has been shedded. The Fulani Christians don't carry that ideology any longer. So there's a difference. Ideology is a major thing that is pushing this massacre. It's ideology, doctrinal ideology. It's not about the ethnic group. The history shows that the Hausas were conquered by the same plight. Now is another phase of the conquering, which has met its stumbling block. It's not. Nobody is profiling Fulanis in general or the kind of Fulanis we have. Of course, we know there is a Kago, there is Bororo, and so on. So the ethnic group Fulani is not being profiled. The ideology of the Fulani, the doctrine guiding the Fulanis in this atrocity is what is being exposed. I yield.
All right, thank you, Mr. Blake. Roy, you have the mic, sir.
Thank you, Mindset. Yeah, so it's unfortunate that a few people feel that they are being profiled wrongly, but you see, there's nothing anyone can really do but to say things as the attackers, the terrorists, are exactly what they're being labeled, both by the ethnicity, the major ethnicity they are, and also the the faith they profess. And someone like I can't remember his name. One of the two speakers before me now, that said he doesn't feel safe. Well, for decades, there are those who have not felt. I mean, have felt exactly what you do, even in their own homes. Southern Kaduna, as an example. And you see, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm only saying if you are not a bandit, if you are not a terrorist, then you have nothing to be afraid of. These people don't. I mean, the one of the ideology that is well known is Boko Haram, and you obviously have attended Western education. It's in the I can tell from the way you speak. So you see, they are. How else would we get rid of them without identifying them? You cannot solve a problem that you haven't identified. So they are Islamic terrorists, and whether we are getting a homegrown solution or we're getting one from external sources, we have to identify them. You are separate. If you don't adopt, if you don't identify with their ideology, you don't. No, I mean, whether they are going to get hit in their location, like in the forest or uh, somewhere, nobody's going to go into a village and say, "Oh, let's wipe out every Fulani." So, I mean, your fear is really, really unfounded. Because of your fear, are you trying to say we shouldn't solve the insecurity problem? No, we won't. It's it's been there. Nigeria, I mean, the count, the survey that was done, the investigation that was done, a Christian dies I think it's every hour or every 2 hours, something like that. A very serious record in Nigeria. Nigeria is listed among the 10 countries where Christians are not safe. So if the same thing is happening to you, and I think the onus is on you and people you can put together your group to see that insecurity. I mean, that we get to solve it. If the government is not committed to solving it, I mean, what else will the government do? They are supposed to oversee, take care of people, take care of property, take care of national infrastructure, and say the, this ethnic group must be catered for, and that ethnic group should not be catered for. So I think you should organize yourselves as well.
All right, thank you very much, Roy, for your submission. I mean, the truth of the matter here is nobody's going to profile every Fulani person and say, oh, Fulanis are criminals. There are good Fulanis. There are profiling everybody from the south, saying they're all Ipobians or whatever. They are the ones killing people and everything. But the good thing here is this, right? You see, a lot of people from the south will tell you what is going on in some of these villages. We are not for it. We dislike it. We are against it. These people are not. They are criminals. They are terrorists. They call them by names, and you don't see people saying, "Oh, because of what's going on there, everybody's being called a terrorist." No. If, as I said when we started this space this evening, and I will continue to say, until we realize that we have a problem, this idea that we are going to there's going to be this thing that would happen and we come together and it's not going to work. Still, we have to admit that we have a problem. From what I've listening, from what I've people that I've listened to, it appears that we have not accepted that we have a problem. That is the biggest problem. The problem is that we have not accepted that we have a problem. Hence, we have international communities coming into our country to do the job our elected officials are supposed to do. I mean, you would have the senators or the House of Rep members would have visited some of these places, some of this IDP before the Americans came. They should have visited those places and said, okay, what is it that these people are saying? Can we do our own thing? Can we get our own, find the mission and find out what's going on in Benue State, what's going on in Sokoto State, what's going on in State, what's going on in Plateau State? Can we do ours in the next 2 weeks? This is what we're going to do. They choose not to do it. And somebody who looked at them and said, guys, these people are not helping us. We need help. Decided to continue to speak out, and the United States said, okay, you know what? We need to come down here and do things for ourselves to see what you told us is the truth. I mean, what is the problem there? Nigerian did not invite the United States. It's the United States invited themselves, because when you have this thing, Nigeria invited them. Mr. Biden, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it the Nigerian government that invited them, or the United States came on their own volition?
The US came on their own.
Because the whole thing, yeah. Thank you very much. Because the whole story out there is, Nigeria invited. Nigeria did not invite them. It was not Nigeria that invited them. It was the president of America said, go out there. I want you to go out there and get the right information for me. before we make decisions. And for those who continue to say there's a deal, there is absolutely no deal on the table. I don't know where you guys get your information from. I don't know who is you guys with all these things. Do I want a better Nigeria? Yes, but we cannot have a better Nigeria with propaganda. Our government should be honest about these things. I will continue to say it, and I will continue to say, do I think that she will put on the ground? I do not think so. But if we don't do what we need to do, and the Americans feel that we should be, I don't know if that would happen. Do I want us to collaborate with the Americans? Absolutely, that's my position. I have not changed for the past 2 months. I've not moved away from that. I want us to collaborate with them. I want them to collaborate with us to stop this terrorism. If anybody sees us as a problem, then the person has a problem. I want them to collaborate with us. I want them to help us because it's very clear to the blind that we are not able to help ourselves. We are not able to do this. But let's not, count our teeth before they had. This thing is far, 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 far from over. But as always, as I said, I will say this. You will continue to listen to Arise TV and Channel TV, and they will continue to tell you there's a deal on the table. There is absolutely no deal on the table. Maybe tomorrow there will be a deal on the table, but I'm talking to you right now, there's no deal on the table. There are 4 things Americans want Nigerians to do. Stop the killings, get the people back home, those that you kicked out from their homes, and some criminals took over their land. You need to go back home, repeal the Sharia law, repeal the blasphemy law. None of these 4 things have Nigerian done. And somebody will tell you there's a deal out there. I wish you guys well. Big Sam, you raise your hand. What is it again?
There is something I wanted to add on what the last speaker said.
No, let's leave it for another day because I'm rounding up now, please, if that's okay with you. Because if you say something, you will now continue, please. Right? But I want to wish everybody well. I will continue with this topic. It's very boring to a lot of people. Until we get it right, I will continue with this topic. So I want to wish you guys well, and I will see you some other time. Enjoy the rest of your money. God bless you. Thank you.
So this weekend, President Trump designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. That is tremendous news. It's something that I've been advocating for a long time. There is no country on earth where Christians are more persecuted than Nigeria. Since 2009, more than 50,000 Christians have been murdered by Boko Haram and radical Islamic extremists. More than 20,000 churches and schools have been burned to the ground. I introduced legislation to direct the administration to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. President Trump has done that. Thank you, President Trump. We're going to keep the fight going to protect Christians and to protect religious liberty.